everyone. Happy Friday. Did that box show up again? Hold on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clearly it's been a rough morning for me. Good morning, mods. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody being here. I'm sorry that I was late this morning, but when I tell y'all this has been a week, thank you, Paula. This has been a week. And then we did the Lighthouse with Dee Dee last night. I think it went well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And then I had to get ready for this morning. Let's just say I didn't go to bed until about 1:30, and I wasn't finished. And so I had to set an alarm for 5 o'clock this morning. And then I fell asleep. So I had to wake up and finish. And then today I needed a cup of coffee. And then my iPad where I played the song was dead. Even though I charged it last night, it wasn't plugged all the way in. So then I had to improvise. So it's been a morning. Thank you, Erica. Let's do the grid. So on the grid today is Veronica, Tim and Angela, of course. I have some thoughts, as usual. And I told you she was going to be center stage. You knew Keke was going to be up there. I actually haven't watched a lot of her, but some of the things she said the other day, I'm sorry, I have to address. So, Sheena, you can tell me to shut up all you like. You're going to be here. Then we may or may not talk about Raquel, because I actually want to address Kristina Test. But we'll see if we get there. And then I have a new couple for you. Leon and Nadine. Not sure if any of you have ever seen them before. But the stuff they said in their live the other day, mind you, it was one of my days when I was just scrolling. Well, they're not new to TikTok. And they're not new to begging on TikTok. But their most recent beg is outrageous to me. Keke went to jail last night. Wait a minute. I was watching her, Japonica. What time did she go to jail? Oh, please take a box. Please, please, please. Please take a box. Oh, on the 27th? Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I watched her last night. And she was like, people are mad that I'm having this baby. Keke, nobody's mad that you're having a baby. What we're mad about, that you're having the baby. What we're mad about is that you already have to beg people for things to take care of the children you already have. And now you're going to add another baby in the mix, which means the children you already have are going to be stretched even thinner with what they're able to get. I know. I saw, who else went to jail? Ashley Trevino went to jail. Oh, okay. Ashley Trevino went to jail for a bond violation. I was like, girl, Messy though is in jail. I know she got a bracelet. I just want to know if it's one that's going to prevent her from drinking alcohol. Amoy is in jail too. For those of you who know who Amoy is locked up. Good morning, good morning. Wow. When people get away with stuff in one space, like on TikTok, she did get the the alcohol monitor, cool. They get so used to getting away with nonsense in one space, they think that they become invincible to the way things are in the world. Sorry, that's not how it works. So, who do I want to start with? Auto. Veronica. So like I said, I haven't watched a lot of her lives, but I caught a live the other night. And she thinks being louder and more aggressive and repetitive is going to make her right. It's going to make what she says more correct than what anybody else has to say. Veronica, I could whisper what I'm going to say, and it would still be more accurate than what you say. So, of course, she's outside late at night because she needs the money for her room. She needs the money for her room. This is a daily exercise. And my question is, while at the height of the day, when it is the warmest, you're knocked out sleep doing whatever it is that you do, but you wait until late at night to go outside to ask for the money. And we know that what she's figured out is that when she's standing outside saying she needs the money for the room, she gets it much faster than if she's already in the room. And she's trying to refute the things that we have said. But I want to go back because a couple of days ago, when I specifically said, how are you outside for 3 days, kicked out of the hotel, but your stuff is still there? That doesn't make sense to me. Especially because we saw one night where the police were there and they were kicking people out. So either those people had paid until that day and got kicked out because they couldn't pay that day, or they let you go a few days. And if you haven't paid, they kick you out. But either way, Keke is lying, because if you recall, and I reported on this some time ago, that Keke said when she took 3 days off from TikTok that she had been outside those 3 days because she didn't get the money for her room, but those were the best 3 days of her life. And I said, how could in the dead of winter you be outside and those be the 3 best days of your life? It doesn't even make sense. The sentence is so contradictory, it doesn't even form a complete sentence. But then recently, when trying to prove that we were wrong, she said that she likes it there because she's been staying there for 2 years. And after being there for that long, she has established residency. Okay, fair enough. And if you was, and so that's why they allow her to go a day or two without paying, and they don't put her stuff out. But that at day 3 they would. Well, what happened to the 3 days you were out a few weeks ago? They didn't put your stuff out, and you didn't have the money. So what are we talking about? What are we saying? And what I don't understand is the people who are dedicated to her are there every single day. I only catch it occasionally, and I catch the lies. How do y'all sit there and hear her day in and day out and don't find the inconsistencies? I don't understand. So, my question is, if you've established residency, and if they don't kick out your stuff in a day or two, why are you outside? Because why would they kick you out physically, but not your stuff? Thank you, Nicole. That doesn't even make sense. So let's just start with that lie. She was still live at 4:30. Was she in her room or outside? Jason, her foot is like that because she has something called lymphedema. She may have broken it and it not healed properly, but the swelling and all of that is related. Outside asking for $45 for Church's chicken. Yep, because that's what she'll do. She'll ask for her room and be like, I'm not even thinking about food. And then when she gets the money or gets close to it, y'all, we're going to have to get something to eat too. Because I'm starving. I didn't eat all day. All I had is stuff to drink. And she's saying that the stuff, the blue in the little water bottle was like Kool-Aid. It looks an awful lot like that blue Mad Dog 2020. I'm just saying. Of course she does. And how hungry she is. I gave her $40 for a hotel room, supposedly, and then that night she was drinking. Yeah, of course, Marie. Of course. The leg is the Griff Skittles, 110%. How could she be a crackhead and be fat? So I went digging. And I apologize, I didn't get to making these slides. But you can look it up. There was an article from 2011 with Mike Tyson who said he couldn't believe he was still fat while he was smoking crack. Mike Tyson, one of the most famous people in the world. And so then I went to look up some clinical research. And again, I'm sorry, I had to go live. Like, I couldn't spend any more time getting ready. But there is a link between obesity and drug use, because both of them provide a dopamine hit. And so that sometimes they will use one for the other. So to say that you must be crazy. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying she smokes crack every day. I'm just saying that I saw you smoke it that day. And there are people who do rugs occasionally. Because again, hey MLA, it is about the hit of it all. I smoked meth many years ago and was still fat. Right. She says anything to try to make it seem like she's right and we're wrong. Okay, MLA. Guys, hold on one second. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's keep going. So, Kate, you have to make sense of what doesn't make sense. Yes, I was just saying that. Who was that? Meek? I was just saying that. She was like, oh, this is the bottle with water where you put the Kool-Aid in it. And I was like, that looks a lot like Mad Dog 2020. The blue one that she always is drinking. But go ahead and lie. Go ahead and lie. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Of course she says she's over it. Oh, thank you. She says she's over it. She's not paying attention anymore, etc., etc., etc. And then she's right back here. I think one of the reasons why she goes live so late at night, thank you, is that she feels like there will be less trolls, that there will be less people watching. Girl, just because I don't say anything doesn't mean I'm not watching. And instead of wasting, hey, TikTok president, I'm glad you're here, baby. Hey, cat daddy, I see you. Just because I'm not saying anything doesn't mean that I'm not there. I've decided not to waste my time in a chat like hers because nothing I say is going to change anything about what she's done. Not a single thing. So there are lives where I will go in and talk, and there's lives that I won't. Jay, no, I don't. I only know what she puts on TikTok. Thank you. I only know what they put on TikTok. And that's the other thing she says. Y'all don't know me. You're right. Yes, she's a fraud. Yes, she is a fraud. Correct. Because the other thing she said was that if she paid by the week, it would be more money. Y'all tell me, because I couldn't think of it, but y'all know better than me sometimes. Y'all tell me where if you pay it more, yes, she does stay in a rug hotel in Memphis because it's the cheapest one. You guys tell me of a place where if you pay like a larger span of time, So instead of daily, weekly, or monthly, that is more expensive. Can you all tell me under any circumstances where paying by the day is cheaper? Because I can't think of anything. And I tried. I was like, what could I pay that would be cheaper by the day than by the week? Maybe she means more to get at one time. Brandy, I don't understand. You can't pay monthly in most hotels because of the rest. Skittles, not in this case. She's been there for 2 years. I think that this hotel was created to try to address the homeless population. And if maybe a roach motel, that's true. That's true. The little boxes you get from Raid or whatever they're called, that might be cheaper by the day. But Brandy, I understand her logic in that regard, but that's not what she said. She said it's more expensive to pay by the week. Oh, listen, in my very, very younger days, I've stayed in a hotel that paid by the hour. It was an unsavory set of circumstances because the people who pay by the hour are there for one reason and one reason only. But it's before I had my place and my boyfriend had his place, so we would go to the hotel for the day and pay for however many hours. I was young and dumb. Young and dumb. Right. Young and dumb. But listen, keep it a buck. There's no reason to lie. But see, you guys have to remember something. She wants food from them every single day, right? She gets food stamps. Thank you, TikTok president. That was me back then. Trust me. Flailing all over the place. Her GoFundMe still exists. And when she gets close to the number, she increases it by $1,000. She may have broken her foot at one point, but her leg being like that is because she has lymphedema. Now, she can lie and say that it's not lymphedema, but whenever she goes to the hospital, they wrap it and they give her water pills because they are trying to get the fluid, the lymphatic fluid, out of her leg. And when somebody isn't willing to do the things necessary, you have to question it. Because you look at, she used to stand on the street and ask for money on the street corner. What better way to do that than to have a leg that she can put out there and people can see how hurt she is? If she gets her leg fixed, she loses her money. Think about it. Because then people would expect her to get a job. Exposing the whatever, please don't spam the chat. Listen, I'm not saying that she doesn't have good moments. Sometimes she's even funny. And sometimes she makes great sense. I'm not saying she's stupid. I'm saying that she modifies her story so that it matches whatever she wants to say that night, even if it doesn't make sense. And then we'll say something is common sense. That's a lie. How do you have food stamps? You haven't worked, but you don't have Medicaid. Now, the big beautiful bill may have changed it up till now. Oh, thank you, TikTok president. Right. She'll start crying. She'll literally come on as she's crying and she'll be like, I'm trying to stop crying, y'all, but I need the money for my room. And people think this life is easy. No one said being homeless is easy, but you have made it as convenient as possible because other people are paying your way. She has, to my knowledge, never shown proof that she's paid the room. Never, not once. Whenever she has to pay, she always cuts the live. Every single time. So how do the people giving her money know that it's actually going to the hotel? Now, when they give her money for food, they can see it because she will eat in front of everybody. But no, it's not true. Let me tell you something. She goes to the doctor, I think in January, claims she has no insurance. Because if she had Medicaid, Medicaid would bring her to the doctor and bring her back, but she wanted Uber money. She literally leaves the doctor's office and starts railing on the doctor's office. Why didn't they test her hemoglobin A1C? And then it turned out, why didn't they test her sugar? Because they took one look at your leg and thought, we have to get that under control. Mind you, she knows she has diabetes. Why is she drinking Mad Dog 2020? She doesn't check her own blood sugar. Siley Jackson, why would the Lord want you to give your money to somebody who was lying? Make that make sense to me. Why would the Lord want you to take the money out of your wallet to give it to somebody who is lying instead of a child in your neighborhood who's actually hungry? If it's about giving to people in need, some people do it, get your blessing and keep moving. But she's lying about her suffering, Siley. She's lying about her suffering. When she goes outside and says, I've been outside because I haven't paid my rent. No, we don't all lie. We don't all lie. And we certainly don't lie to get money out of other people when we're refusing to do the things we need to get better. Correct all for one. We didn't start with just, oh, we think she's a liar. Because this is what time I go live. Why is she live at 4:30 in the morning begging for money? The hypocrisy is literally spilling off of you. Why, if she still has the room, does she go outside to beg for money? Like, make it make sense. This is what time I'm free, so this is what time I go live. Why does it matter what time it is? Nate, you gotta put that in a sentence I could understand. But she's lying about what's wrong with her leg. She's lying about what's wrong with her leg. I'm not worried. See, what you guys, because this is clearly probably your first time here. This is who I'm talking about today. Kira Doll, she says all the time she's not in pain. What do you mean? I'm not judging. I'm just telling the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts, but the truth is just the truth. I'm not judging her in any way, shape, or form. But at least, White Sox, please leave her alone. At least tell the truth. Just say, I have lymphedema and it's my moneymaker. Oh, believe me, I am kind. I am kind. I am only talking about people who lie on this app for money, taking advantage of other people. She said she had food stamps. What are you talking? Like, do y'all actually listen? Do y'all actually listen? Wait, I'm sorry, y'all, for the people who have been here, because I feel like I got to do this every single time. That's what she looks like. A broken foot does not create swelling all the way up your leg. It doesn't. 100% she has lymphedema. Jason, she could, but she says that she doesn't want to because she doesn't want to be put under anesthesia. But the rest of her leg, and again, I'm not saying she didn't break her foot. Siley, it could be me tomorrow. But what I won't do is get on this app and lie to get money out of people. Right, May? But that has nothing to do with the lymphedema in her leg. And so then I question, is the swelling in her leg actually a broken foot? Or is it the lymphedema? Mama Juicy, I don't know if you want a box, but if you do, put box in the chat. It is getting lymphedema also. And how I know is because when she was on the street corner asking for money, you could see that the other leg was getting big as well. If you guys want a box, you have to put a box in the chat. Especially being a diabetic. Y'all have to remember, I don't call people in Memphis and say, give me information. I base this solely on what she says and does on TikTok. Well, Siley, if you don't like what we're doing, you can scroll on like Cake says. Okay, TikTok barista. She says that it's not painful. Oh, Juicy, you have to request again. You have to request, but I just want to see it in the box. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. You know, ma'am, I said the same thing because I've been watching this lady for the last couple of days, and I can't see. She gets mad, but I don't understand how she get mad because I done seen people send her money and then she go buy the alcohol, and then she go and do this. So, and then she gets mad like the questions. But you have to understand, anybody is gonna ask questions when their money is being spent, regardless of what the
Correct.
circumstances. It could be a donation, it could be whatever the case may be. I deal with kids and fundraisers and stuff like that. They're gonna ask questions. They're gonna want to see proof. And honestly, yeah, just looking at her from the live, like she look like she lying. I'm sorry, she do.
Hey, hey, ladies, how y'all doing?
Good morning.
Good.
I
I
just
get that
want to
her
say,
foot is hurt. I get that part, but all that extra stuff, I think she playing too much at this point.
yeah, you guys, I am in Memphis where she is. So
Uh-huh.
she's lying, completely lying. Now, I don't know about the actual attributes of the medical and people saying that she's on drugs, but she does live at the hotel that she's in. She keeps saying that it's $65 a night and three whatever a week. No, it's not. It's $200 a week. And it's not one of those hotels that you can get nightly. Like that's why she doesn't have the amenities that a hotel would. If you're paying $65 a day for a hotel, don't you supposed to have tissue, TV, maid service and all of that? No, because the
No,
part
you're absolutely right. And
yeah.
every time somebody asks her to see the room, like to show the room, she catches the attitude like, why can't you just show us the room then?
Yeah,
You already in the room, you might as well
but
just show the room. But
I
she won't
live
do that.
I live in Memphis, Tennessee. I've lived in Memphis my entire life. I don't know her personally, but I saw her a couple of times before I saw her online because she lives right by a liquor store and a strip club. And the hotel that she stay in is a suite, and it's one of those you can't pay for it by the night. You pay for it by the week or by the month. And anyway, my curiosity got the best of me. Everybody was talking about this lady and saying all this different stuff. And one of those nights, she said she was outside, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna sit out in my car and I'm gonna sit here and watch her, and I did. And I said, if that lady goes out onto the street, I'm going to help her right now. If she wants to come back to my place, I'll help her. That girl turned her tail around and went right back in that building after she said her phone was dying and all of that. She was lying. She was lying. She lying like she don't have no place to stay. I truly believe, and I know that I'm not wrong, that she did get approved for her quote unquote disability, and that's how she pays for that hotel that she's staying in. And the money that's being sent to her, she used it for her Mad Dog 2020 and her extras. Other than that, she definitely doesn't pay 60. Why lie about that? You can just say,
Right.
hey, I stay in a hotel that, I pay monthly or I pay whatever. And then she did say she get food stamps, but she's always hungry. And I know when you're a single person with no kids, you get at least 298 of food stamps in Memphis, Tennessee if you have no income. That 298 should be able to last her to buy oodles of noodles and whatever else, to stack up to have some food. But she never ever says when she gets her stamps because she want to pretend that she's hungry all the time. And then when I heard her spazzing out and snapping on people and stuff, I blocked her and I went on about my business because I do believe she got health issues and all of that, but her lying about those rates and all of that, that's a complete lie.
Correct. Siley, where are you now? That there's somebody from Memphis who knows the truth. You want to, like, my thing is this: you want to hold me responsible for calling her out, but won't hold her responsible for lying to get money. The hypocrisy is just literally running off of you. Hold on one second, Mama Juicy. Thank you for being
Mm-hmm.
here. Miss Coffee?
Good morning, Dee Dee. Good morning, chat. I
Good
just wanted to
morning.
highlight because you bring you raise consciousness too. Last night there was a young lady in the chat who stated that she does not have limbs, but she's getting her car fixed with the proper tools and equipment so that she could drive. And she said that she's going to go to Memphis and she wants to meet Cake in person. And the young lady said that she does not have, extra income to send to Kate, but because she's on a fixed income, but she said that she's going to get the money and she wants to bless Cake in person. And all I could hear was Dee Dee in parasocial relationships. Like she's really building a community of people that believe her. So even if they see wrong, they don't see the wrong. that
Mm-mm.
somebody is willing to travel to see her, meet her in person, take her to church's chicken, and let her say that she wants to bless her in person. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
That's
tell you that the turning point for me with her, because she had me suckered in until I got off my behind and started doing a little investigating, because I just had, it was too many people saying certain stuff, and I said, well, let me see for myself. I'm here where she is. You know what I'm saying? But another young lady that lived in Memphis drove all the way to where Cake was she lives in a really bad part of town, nothing but prostitutes, and it's the drug track. It really is. Now, I don't know if she's on drugs or not, but she's sure right there where it's at. But
yes,
anyway,
it was.
but when the girl brought her whatever it was she blessed her with, Kate talked about that girl. Oh, I was done then.
Of course, because you're only as good as what you're giving her on that day. She
Mm-hmm.
pretends like she loves people, but the people she loves the most are the people who give her money.
Mm-hmm.
Gigi, Gigi, what would you like to say?
Yeah, I was in her live probably about maybe within the last 4 days, and she was saying she needed. Actually, I went several days, but on the last time it was about 4 days ago, and she was saying she needed like it was like almost $20 for food. I said that's kind of expensive, and I just tried to suggest different ways, like to go about it, because I work full time and I'm in California, but I live in my car right now. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
still making it. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
Walmart will deliver for free and I can get her the Walmart Plus, which is only $14 a month. I'll pay for it for her. And she can order her groceries, whatever she wants to eat for that day, and they'll deliver it to her. And she just starts getting like really she started getting really defensive and
Mm-hmm.
she
Yeah,
yeah.
but if you get food stamps and you upload your food stamp card, it's even half that price. They have a discounted Walmart Plus if you receive food stamp, so she can get it for even that part. But she lives right by where they call a Love's truck stop, where all the truckers are pretty much come to fuel up that come through Memphis, where there's nothing but food. She can easily take $5 and get a little two-piece chicken something. She has expensive taste to be begging. I'm sorry to
Let me.
say it like that, and I don't want to
She
be rude,
is.
but she has very much audacity to be in the situation that she purposely doesn't fix herself up to have the aesthetic of what she's trying to get. But I'm not saying that she's not suffering. We all are. We all are. But she's not as bad as she's claiming to be. She's not.
Well, let me say this, lady. Let me say this, Lady Lex. Um, the other day, a woman who knows her, who has helped her before, said to her, I own a trucking company. If you learn, and I can't even remember what it was, I have it written down. But if you learn this skill that you can learn on YouTube, that you can learn on YouTube, she said, I will have a job for you working from home and I will pay you well. All you have to do is learn some stuff on YouTube and you'll have a job. What did Cake say? Did Cake say, I'll look into it, tell me
Mm-mm.
more about it? I would love to do that because Cake's thing about not being able to work is that she can't get anywhere, she can't do anything. This woman literally handed her away out of her poverty situation, and Cake was silent. It was Cake's mod that was like, I need something like that. Can you tell me more about it? Cake stayed silent, and Cake is never silent. Cake stayed silent until they finished that conversation, and then Cake was like, I need to get the money for my room. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sorry. When somebody is literally handed a way out of their poverty circumstances that will actually suit her, and this is somebody who likes her, so she's gonna pay her well because she's trying to get her out of poverty.
Yeah,
Why
and another.
is it, why is it that she can lie and cheat and make up stories? I watched her smoke C-Rack with my own two eyes. What she didn't realize was that the reflection of the windshield would show on the phone. I have the photos.
Oh.
And she said last night, was it last night or the other night? She said, I'm too fat to be a C-Rack head. Well, I just looked it up. Go ask Mike Tyson about him being fat while he was a C-Rack head. Now, I'm not saying she's a C-Rack head, but what I am saying is I watched her smoke it. And if you have diabetes, why are you drinking Mad Dog 2020 every time you turn around? Why are you lying to people to get money? Y'all want to come in here and talk about I'm judging her, but the Bible says if you are a liar, a murderer, an adulterer, for God, that's all the same. So why don't you take your principles that you're in here with and apply them to her?
Yeah,
You
I
just
agree.
see that her leg is hurt and you think, oh, she's hurt, so nobody shouldn't judge her about anything. God doesn't care. God has the exact same feeling about a liar as he does a murderer. So again, when you want to try to apply the Bible to talk about what I'm doing, make sure that you apply it the same way going in the other direction.
That is
Hold
very
on.
much true. But another thing that she had mentioned in her live before I blocked her, was saying that the shelters cost here. No, they do not.
Yes.
The shelters do not cost a penny. It is hard to get in them. Just say that. It's hard to get in the shelter if you don't have children, and if you have a boy over the age of 5. It is hard to get in them. I won't lie to say that. But it costs and all of that. No, you have to be like in some kind of drug rehab or something like that. Maybe that's the case with her. If she is on drugs, she doesn't want to let that go, and she knows she's going to be drug tested to stay there, and that's probably why she doesn't choose that route. But all in all, it's all a facade. I think it started off and people felt sorry because of that leg, and she took it and ran with it. That's just what I feel
Well,
that she did.
but she was getting money off the leg on the street corner. She just figured out she could use TikTok, and she was doing
Hmm.
both for a while. And when she realized that she could give her sob story and never, ever, ever have to be on the street, especially while it's cold, she took it.
Yeah.
Shorty, what would you do me a favor, guys? I want Shorty to speak, all for one to speak, and then exposing. I gotta take a break for a second. But y'all keep going.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for doing these types of lives because what people are not, I don't know if they're just not grasping what's going on here or what, but this, to me, seems like this live is about spreading awareness. And it's not about judging anybody or talking about what they do, they don't do, this, that, and the third. This woman is on this app trying to take advantage of people to get money. And we've seen it a million times. I'm sure everybody already knows who Lisa Richardson's was. And same thing. And, who has the right to come on this app and ask people for money and then turn around and yell at people and talk to them so like disgracefully? I just can't wrap my head around it. And I just feel like if these people are out here, they're not understanding that we're not out here judging this woman. It's not about what she looks like, what's wrong with her leg, if she's a rug addict or not, or whatever it is she's doing. There's obviously something going on where she doesn't want the help. She just wants the money for whatever it is that she's doing right then and there. So we could take all the drugs out. We could take all the rugs out, all of the mad dog, the health issues, the homelessness. Take all that out. She could be somebody that's sitting in a home with a Mercedes in her driveway and still on this app trying to say that, she needs money. The whole point of this app, or excuse me, of this live is to bring awareness to people so they're not getting scammed. They're not being taken advantage of. And I just feel like if people don't want to see that or just want to think that this is all about, judging people and things like that, then, go ahead and give them your money. Just keep right on going ahead and giving them their money. I mean, what do you do then? That's all I wanted to say.
Morning, everyone. So I did
Good morning.
research in reference to resources. Now she berated me. She literally jumped me up and down the wall and turned around and then blocked me. And all I was trying to do was offer resources and help to her. Now I did do research. There is a national lymphedema network that's out there that will literally
Oh wow.
provide her with compression garments, things that can assist her in mobility and to get her around. Does she want any of that resources? And it's all free. That's the kicker. It's all free through the National Lymphedema Network. Problem is, you got to step back and think to myself, okay, she doesn't want resources, so there's only one thing that she wants. She wants to take your money. And look, income tax time is here. We're all going to get checks, most of us who don't have to pay into it. But you worked for that money for a whole year.
Okay.
And now you want to give it up to somebody who hasn't worked
Move.
and wants to just do nothing but take it? That's not right.
Yeah.
But if she would reach out to me, I'd be offered to turn around and do some of the legwork for her, but she doesn't want to. She just wants one thing. And we all know what it is when it comes to scammers and beggars that are on here. They all want the greenback. They all want that money. They want cash money in their hands so they can spend it however they see fit. And, there's organizations that are out there that will assist her and even give her grants to get her medically taken care of. The choice is up to them. You could lead a horse to water, but you cannot force it to drink. And if she only wants one thing, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to help a person that doesn't want to reach out to get resources first to get back on their feet to be able to have a job. That individual that offered that job up, that was literally most likely a logistics job working from home. That is the easiest job that you could possibly ever have.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. It was a job where when the truckers when they start their day, when they take a break, when they take their lunch, when they go back to work, she was like the record holder for all of it, for all of the trucks the woman had.
Yeah,
It didn't sound extensive or required a college education. And she was just going to give her the job.
that's the easiest job to have.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to physically be on a dock or loading trucks up or anything. Look, if somebody came to me and offered me something like that, I would jump on that in a heartbeat. Easiest way to make money, that's your money, nobody else's, and then you could start saving it up to get into a better situation than what you are now. That's all I have to say, Dee Dee. I appreciate you, dear.
I appreciate you
Could I
too.
interrupt for 1 second?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I just see this person here that says that they hate people act like they never had a rough patch in their life. That's not what this is even about. This is about, again, spreading awareness about people not having to give up their hard-earned money to people that are just wanting to scam you, period. And then the other thing I wanted to mention about before I left, I just wanted to say this. We also need to remember that there are people, believe it or not, on this app who want to see people like this suffer, and they enjoy that kind of content, and they like to see all the other people fighting and all of this other stuff, and they will give these people money just to keep them going.
True.
Just to watch them fail, which is absolutely even more disgusting. And I just wonder if that's maybe what these people are that are saying these kind of comments, because they know it's not that hard. You have an intuition. You have God gave you an intuition. You know the difference between right and wrong. You just choose not to see it.
Thank you, Shorty. Good morning,
Thank you.
Good morning. To
Are you
piggyback off
feeling
of
better?
yes, I am a little better. To piggyback
Okay.
off of what she said, that's true. They don't want them changed. They don't want them to do better because they like the entertainment. They're on here every day for that type of entertainment. I think what people need to pay attention to is when people try to offer Kate's resources and ways out, they need to pay attention to how defensive she gets and how mad she gets. it's only because she wants the money for her habit. They need to pay attention to that. Also, when you said that when people come in and they say that you're not supposed to judge and this and that, we are supposed to judge. We are supposed to judge with a righteous eye. People always try to flip the Bible to make it say what they want it to say instead of
Mm-hmm.
what it actually says. So if we see something wrong, we are supposed to call it out. We are supposed to speak on it. So those that always want to say, you're not supposed to judge, that's a lie. That's a lie. Quit spinning the Bible to make it say what you want it to say. That's not
Right.
how it works. And last, Kate is in that predicament because she want to be in it. She don't talk about doctor's visits. She's not going to the doctor to try to get herself better. She's like that because she wants to. That's a health issue that she has going on, and she's not trying to fix it.
Correct. Because it's her money maker. Period.
And for her, and again, like I told, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just had to say something.
Go ahead.
I'm here in Memphis along with her, as I've said before. There are free hospitals here. There are Christ Community health clinics that are $10 to be seen. Like they don't worry about that money. There's a lot of people that do it. What they call it pro bono or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be.
Well, there's a community
She
health
doesn't
center.
want to. She does
I,
not want to.
But
right.
my thing is, if she don't want to, right? She don't have a choice, y'all. It's basically like trying to get
Wait.
somebody to. It's
What doesn't
basically
she have a choice
it's
of?
it's basically trying to get somebody to drink from a damn water fountain that don't want to drink from a water fountain. You can't make her do what she want to do. If she's going to sit here and take money, if motherfuckers want to be stupid, sorry for my language. If people want to be stupid and give her money, okay, let it be. You can't
No,
stop
no,
nobody.
no, no.
You
That's not right. That's
listen,
not
That's
right.
not
listen,
That
right.
listen.
you you that don't mean you can get on here
You
and take
cannot
advantage
stop
of good
nobody for
people.
giving nobody money. That's like a
Yeah,
homeless
but
person on the side of the road. Somebody's going to give that man money, right?
But
But
that
I can
doesn't
still
Right.
call it
that
out.
Okay.
doesn't make it
But
right. That doesn't
but
make it
it's it's
right.
it's the
That
fact
doesn't
that
make it
y'all it's
right.
the fact that y'all up here like y'all see this lady on live every day. If she's not asking you for no money, why is it so important for y'all to be on live and talk about somebody else? You
Because
feel
this
me?
Because
is
she's
it's
taking
like
advantage of good
It
people.
doesn't okay, so
She's
do
taking
y'all give
advantage
you
of good
money?
people.
Do
No, we
do
don't
you
give her money, but we're gonna stop
okay
other
then? So
people
what
from
is the
giving her
point?
money
What point
because
is you trying to prove? There's
the
no
point
Bianca,
point.
well, can
that
I
There is
we're
can
no
I
trying to
point.
prove,
At
hold
the
at
on,
the
point
end
we're
of
hold
the
trying to
day,
on.
prove, the
at the
point
end of
we're
the
trying to
day, at
prove.
the end of the
No,
day,
that's not
she's
at
going
the
to
end
be
of
the
the day.
same
No,
person. At the
no,
end of the
no, that
day,
ain't how it works.
she's
That
going to
ain't
be
how
the
it
same
works.
person.
That ain't
If
how it
she want
works.
to take the help, then let her take it. You can't
That
make her take no help. And sitting here
That
talking
ain't
about it is
how it
not going to
works.
make her
Well,
take the
okay, but
help.
if she don't want to fix herself, then people need to stop trying to help her. Because
Okay,
And that's what I'm doing.
If
that's
Cash
basically what I
hasn't
just
helped her,
said.
no, if Cash hasn't helped her thus far, then Cash is not the issue, and that's why people need to stop giving it to her. But we are going to bring awareness so that people will stop, regardless of
It,
how y'all want to put it. We're going to keep bringing awareness, whether y'all want to hear it or
it's
not.
it's
We're going to
no
keep doing
awareness.
it.
It's
We're,
no
we're going to
awareness.
keep doing it.
It's no awareness to bring if she want to ask motherfuckers
Yes,
for money.
it is awareness to bring. We're going to stop people from giving money. That's just it.
Okay,
So
when you
she's
stop,
forced to get it together for herself.
when you stop everybody from giving
Are
her
you a
money,
giver? Are you a
when you
giver?
stop
Are
everybody
you
from
a
giving her
giver?
money,
Are you a
when you
giver?
stop everybody from giving her money, then
No,
that's when
we
you say you're
watched it.
bringing up awareness.
We
Because
have watched it
nothing is
happen in real
stopping
time, though.
this
We
lady
watched
can
it
go
in
on
real
live.
Hold
time. We have
on,
slowed
hold
down.
on.
This lady
People
can go
can't
on
We
hear
live
have
today.
y'all.
watched it. We
This
have
Hold
lady
watched
can
it
go
on.
in
on
real
live today and
time.
make money. It's gonna
We
be that.
have
Exposing and
watched it in real
Acery.
time. We have
People
watched it
It's
in
can't
real
hear
time.
y'all.
We have
People can't
slowed
hear
down
y'all.
money. We have
Y'all
slowed
okay.
keep
It's
down
gonna
money.
be that
That's
one
the
person
fact.
out of the
wait.
whole
We slowed
bunch
down
that's
money.
gonna give
We
her
slowed
money.
down
You can't
money.
stop everybody from giving her money.
We
And I
Wait a
slowed
was
down
one
minute.
money.
of them. You
We
guys, I'm
slowed
sorry
down
to say
money.
this. I'm not only talking just because I'm hating on her or I'm trying to this and that. I was actually giving her money myself. I wasn't listening to what everybody else was saying. I'm in her city. She's a young black woman like myself. It doesn't matter of her color, but I'm just saying I saw myself in I can be a paycheck away from being on the street or whatever the case. So I gave it the benefit of the doubt to help her. I was sending her stuff. I was making plans for this lady in my head to help her. I have two children of my
Okay,
own.
so Mama Ju, you see how you stop? You see
Uh-huh.
how you stop? Everybody else will eventually follow suit. It may not work like that tomorrow, but eventually everybody will stop, and that's what awareness is for.
Right,
Yeah.
but let me wait. But let me say this too, Acery. See, Jesus came to judge the people that were using his father's name in vain. He flipped tables over because they were making a mockery of the church. If somebody is lying to take advantage of people, most people wouldn't give their money if they knew she was lying, if they knew that she was manipulating them out of their money. Now, let me be clear. Hold on. Let me be clear about this. If somebody knows everything there is to know about her and they choose to still want to give her their money, I'm not talking to them. You want to give her money? Be my guest. I'm concerned about the older women who are on Social Security, or look at this woman who doesn't have limbs herself, wants to get her car fixed so she could drive to her and take care of her. What about the single moms who are busting their butt, but they see Cake and think she needs it more than me because they don't realize that she's lying and
Okay,
scamming them out of money.
okay. I'm
So
not
you
gonna sit
know,
here. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't understand what you're saying. I understand full heartedly. I understand. But at the end of the day, God gotta judge her. God
and
gotta
he
do that.
will.
And he
But
will. You're right. You're right.
my
You're
job
right.
is to
we do
make
But
sure
too.
people
my thing
know
is,
what they're
my thing
given.
is, when her judgment day come, is you gonna be in that same room with her? No.
So what
No.
difference what does that have to do
No.
with anything?
That cause it's her life. That's what I'm saying. It's her life. Let her choose her life and do with her life as she
Y'all like to try
please.
to flip the Bible. I don't like that. I'm gonna get down
Okay.
before I be done saying something. I'm gonna get down because y'all like to flip the Bible to make it say what y'all think it say. That is not
Right.
what that is not what it says. I'm getting ready
Right.
to drop. Talk to y'all later.
Okay,
See ya.
exposure. Don't be disrespectful because
No,
nobody's been
because no,
disrespectful
it's
to
the fact
you.
that somebody trying to flip the. I'm saying what I want to say. It's my opinion. Everybody have an opinion, just like y'all
Right.
had your own opinion. It's an opinion.
Exactly.
Okay,
But
okay.
right.
So why can't I express my opinion?
You're here expressing it. What are you talking
Okay,
about?
so what's the point? If y'all not going to sit here and y'all trying to say that, oh, I'm flipping the Bible, I'm doing this wrong, I'm saying the wrong stuff. The thing is, only thing that I'm trying to say is you cannot make her stop scamming. Yes, these people gonna be
I,
like, dang, I'm gonna stop sending her money. I'm not gonna send her no more money. But it's also gonna be that 1% chance that somebody's gonna send her money. Like the only thing I'm saying is that you can't stop everybody from sending her money.
and
Okay,
I'm not trying to. I'm
okay,
here and exposing what I know based on her lies. If
yes,
hold on,
she lies bad.
hold on, as I've shown, I'm not just talking about her today. So I do this 3 mornings a week. I'm following 100 scammers on TikTok right now.
Yes, ma'am.
And every time, every live, it's a different set of people. She just happened to be first.
All right.
So hold on. Because I have a lot of people who want the box, but I also need to move on to another person. So I'm gonna let everybody up and have their say, and then we're gonna move to the next person. I see you. Good morning, kidney nurse.
Oh, I'm
Kidney
sorry.
nurse.
This was a mistake. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem, honey. I'll drop you.
Yeah, my apologies.
No problem at all. Um Let's see, two more. Axron, did you want a box? It's Darius. Did you want a box?
You go with your life, like go somewhere and do something else. Y'all keep talking about this girl, she ain't do nothing to y'all.
Well,
Oh,
that
well,
was you.
well, I wanted to say one more other thing before you move on to the next person when it's concerning Kate. When it comes down to me, I am in no way trying to pick on this lady, make nobody stop doing anything for her or anything. Just like how that person just said what they said, that's how I felt about the situation when I first came across her. I didn't realize that I had already seen her on the street before and that she was the same person that was near this store that I would go to every once in a while. I know that's not here or there. But anyway, I was giving things to her. I was sending, and sometimes she would send me a cash app request even when I didn't have it, and I would give it to her, or I'd
Yeah.
give her what I had. But okay, fine, forget what everybody else says. But when I started laying in the bed, and I was thinking one day, and she was going live, and she said she was outside, and all her things were outside. I said, let me get in my car and see. It's 5 minutes away. And I got in my car, and I was right there. I knew where she was off top. When I saw the room, I knew where she was. I didn't tell anybody that, that I knew where she was and all the details of it. And I went there and I sat there and I watched her. And she went right back in that building. But what hotel do you live in that would allow you to leave your things in there but put you out? Like, that doesn't make
Correct.
sense. Hotels don't do that. If they're going to evict you and you haven't paid, your stuff goes out the door with you. They don't save anything. They don't save anything, or you can't leave your stuff in the room. People are not using their common sense when it comes to that. Now, if you want to help her and you know that she's entertaining you or whatever, then so be it. But there are people out there like myself that wasn't aware, and their heart is big, and they are doing this because they think that this is going on, and it's not. I'm not trying to convince nobody of anything, and I'm not trying to judge nobody, whatever. Kudos to you. I did what I was supposed to do, which was block her, and I went on about my business and didn't give her another penny of my money because I just felt like she was not a right person. Then she would get on there and flip on people. Oh, I'm gonna give you your little $5 back. Why would you give me $5? Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
begging, but you don't want nobody to give you $5. Whatever.
Right.
But in the conclusion of what I'm saying is, I'm in no way trying to tell somebody not to do anything for this lady. Do it until you are blue in the face. But there are people out there that heart are big, and don't know that she's, that's not really her situation. Well, the only thing I can say is that whole room situation, definitely, that's a monthly place. That's a weekly and monthly, not no every night. And she herself said that she get food stamps, and she should have food at some point. But every single day she says she doesn't have it. You just get tired of hearing that when a person is abusing abusing your trust and abusing you trying to be kind hearted. And that's all I have to say. So if people feel like that she's being picked on, I apologize for how you feel. But that's just the truth, and the
Let
truth
me add
sometimes
to,
hurt.
let me add to that. Awareness is not just people who roll over one day and decide, oh, I want to start covering this person because I think they're scamming. The
Right.
awareness community consists of people that have help, that have spent money, that have put in time, that have offered resources, that have sent orders, that have sent food, that have paid for rooms, and the person didn't change or do right by the money that was being sent. So this is what awareness is made up of. It ain't just random people. It's people that have help. They have tried to get her the resources. This is why awareness exists. We just didn't wake up and say, oh, I'm just going to talk about this person. No,
Yeah.
we go down the rabbit hole. We've been doing this for so long. Like, we research these people, reach out to families. We have families that reach out to us. Like, we do the homework on it and then we get to it.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I understand.
110%. Hold on. I have one more person and then I have to move on from her. Um, Bree Bree. Oh wait, I gotta wait for her to connect first. Bree Bree, did you want a box?
Huh?
Did you want a box, honey? Did you have something to say? Maybe not.
Yes, I think she's
I was
part of the
just gonna
awareness. She used to be on her page as well. I think she's aware of what, you know, part of the awareness side as well. I
Bree
remember
Bree.
her.
because I was
We can't hear you, honey. Something's wrong with
huh?
your Okay, try now.
Okay, let me see. Um, can you
All
hear me
right.
now?
Hey, Bree Bree.
Yes. Go ahead.
Hey girl. No, I was just gonna say Mama Juicy right about what she talking about, cause that cake, and then I try to help her too, but not like with no money or nothing like that. Like,
You know, I had a little stats or whatever. So she was saying that she was hungry and whatnot, and she had bought a pack of noodles from somebody, and so I said, oh well, maybe she like noodles and stuff too. You know, oodles and noodles. So I said, well, give me your Walmart location, and I'll order you, you know, a few stuff. And I was gonna get her, you know, like a case of sodas, 2 boxes of oodles and noodles, you know, different flavors, and some snacks and stuff. And I said, well, I'll have it delivered to you. Now, whether she wanted to get it from down the street or somewhere, like she would never say where she was at exactly. I said, I don't need to know that. Just give the location where you can get to, and you can pick the stuff up once they deliver it. And I was gonna pay to get it delivered. And she turned around. She said, I told her. She asked me what was I gonna order. And well, when I said oodles and noodles, boy, she fell out. She gonna say, what the H I look like eating oodles and noodles? I said,
Wow.
excuse you. I said, you was just up here talking about you was hungry, and you went in and you said you bought a pack of noodles off of somebody, so I thought you like damn noodles. But she talking about what the H she looked like eating noodles. I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep my shit to myself. And show did.
Let me tell you
Show
something.
did.
On a random Wednesday, she was like, y'all know what I want to eat? And she's like, this is what I desire. And it was a $50 seafood boil on a Wednesday. And I
What?
know half the people in there probably save up for a seafood boil. But on a random Wednesday, and they sent her enough and she ordered it. Hold
Oh
on.
no. That was a night at your hotel supposedly, and you eating it.
Right. A $50 seafood boil out the blue. And that's what I mean by taking advantage. Because let's say everything else is accurate, which we know it's not. How do you fix your face? Because if she had used that $50 and ordered, because her mama gave her an air fryer, so she can cook her own food. If she had ordered $50 worth of groceries, she could have eaten several days. Or even
Mm-hmm.
if she got fast food, she could have eaten at churches for a couple of days. No, she wanted a seafood boil on a random Wednesday. And the problem is that people believe her. So the reason why I do what I do is so that hopefully people will come by and they will see, they will hear that the stories you've been told by her aren't true and they don't make sense. And they're able to keep their money. Other people just want to be a part of it. They want to give it to her. No problem. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to somebody who believes her and is being taken advantage of because they believe her lies. Now,
Mm-hmm.
once you know she's lying and you still want to give her your money, please do me a favor. Open your entire bank account so that nobody else gets taken advantage of. Y'all know she needs $65 a night, then y'all get together and have it to her so she don't even have to get on live. That way, a new person coming across her won't feel bad because she loves to show her foot right as she needs money. So, y'all, she wants $65 a day. She wants a seafood boil once a week. And she needs y'all to pay for everything else. So, get together and do it.
Yeah. Have a party, have fun with it if that's what you enjoy to spend your money on.
Correct. Now, guys, I have to move on to somebody
Okay.
else. But thank you so much for coming up, Mama Juicy. I have followed you. I appreciate you coming in as a local who
No
knows the
problem.
truth. And so that when they're like, how do you know? And blah, blah. Well, this is how we know.
Right,
Because
right.
people know the truth.
Yeah, there are. But you know what? You're never, and I just want to say this, and not even about her, just in general. You never know who's watching or who really know your truth in the shadows. Seriously, like I'm right here where you are. I can literally walk to her right now.
Correct.
Can
Well,
literally
thank you.
walk up to her, but I'm still here. I'm just gonna drop down, but I'm still here. I'm interested in seeing who's next.
Okay, honey.
All
Thank
right,
you.
all right. Bye bye.
Bree Bree, I want to thank you for coming up as well. We have to move on. Hold on. Yeah. Guys, I need you to keep it cute in the chat because regardless of how you feel about what the people in the box say, if I want to be able to say that my voice should be heard, then their voices can be heard as well. I don't live in an echo chamber. I don't need everybody to agree with me. I don't need everybody to agree with me. Okay? So I need you to keep it cute or you can go. Good morning.
Good morning. Don't run, Dotsy. Don't run. Dee Dee Jonesy, Dotsy, Skeptical was just in here, and
Uh-oh. She must have got a call.
sorry.
That's okay.
The screenshot that I just sent you, she's in here, and lot of supporters for Cake is in here, and of course there was a bunch of them. Like I don't know where they all came from, unless she's over there telling them to come over here. But Skeptical jumped on that train and Miss Coffee and calling, and I think Exposing has already spoke to Jonesy, where she was in there enabling Zim. And I mean, minutes after they called her out, she went to another Beggars and Scammers live. Then she was over here in your live, and then minutes after the live, she went right over to Big Zim's and says, "How much is the birth certificate?" Knowing everything that was going on. And they were kind to her. They tried to talk to her, and she's still doing it. And then just moments ago, that screenshot that I just sent you, in here talking all that mess.
Yep.
So my point for coming up is I wanted to show everybody what she wants. She wants some attention, so let's give her some attention. But the people in here do not need to message her, because she's in there and she's tying up everyone in this community's precious time. They're messaging her because she's making comments in Big Zim's and Tim and Angela, all these people's chats, but then coming over here with that, and it's like kicking dirt in their faces. So let's bring awareness to Dotsy Jonesy. Her name is Skeptical. She has a black heart on the start of her name and at the end. They have already spoken to her kindly, and it wasn't just once or twice or three times. This will be my fourth time making a video on her name change, on her comments, who she's enabling. She's a moderator for Gypsy Windwalker,
Oh
and
my
she
God.
lied about it.
That's the worst.
But that comment she just made a few minutes ago in your chat, that wasn't right. And she thinks just because she changes her name that it's appropriate or that you're going to hide.
Oh, y'all can see it. Why do y'all get on here and repeat? Because there's new people coming in here every day.
So please, y'all, I'm not telling y'all who to follow, who to block, who to just mind your precious time, because you guys are all valuable to us and everything that you do. And if she's taking up 30 seconds of your time, it's too much. That's 30 seconds that somebody that just scrolled into that chat needs your attention, to let them know how to do their research, how to come here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, how to spot the red flags. But Skeptical is tying that up when she changes her name, and that's not right.
If she's still in here, block her.
When I got up here, she was number 45 in the viewer list, but I don't see her anymore. Okay, I didn't mean to tie you up. I'm sorry. I just Dottie gets under my skin because she's taking up too many people's time. And
I agree.
all right, y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. Bye. The hills have eyes, and so does TikTok. Now, okay. I want to talk about this. Is TikTok president still here? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Right, next. I think we talked so long about Cake, she might have left. But I want to bring you guys up to date. Hey, Carrie. Okay. Carrie, if she's not here, you can get in the box because you know everything as much as... Oh, she is? Okay, you guys can come in the box. But I just want to say this. So Kristina, the cousin, I'm going to call her TikTok president because their names are the same. Okay. Come in the box if you want to. If you don't, I understand. Okay, TT president. So TT president held alive and let Kristina Test know that she could hold the live and she would be there. So the live was set up. And then Kristina decided that she was going to ask her mods if she should go to the live. Now, if you're modding for her, you are already compromised. You are already willing to tell her whatever she wants to hear to be her mod. Because if you tell her anything she doesn't want to hear, you get blocked. So, of course, they knew what answer she wanted them to give, and they gave the answer. Oh, no, it's just going to be drama. Don't do that. What I don't understand is they can watch Kristina abuse her cousin, TikTok president, but then want to protect her in some way. Like, it's flabbergasting. Here you are, bending over backwards, twisting yourself into a pretzel to support a woman that hasn't taken care of a single one of her children. Can you imagine being her child? Now, some of them are too young to understand what's going on, but eventually they will all grow to maturity and they will understand what their mother was doing. She's not on here begging to feed them, to buy them clothes, to get them Christmas gifts, to make sure their birthdays go well. She's only begging for herself because Kristina only cares about herself. She makes decisions that are only based on what she wants at the moment, not even if it doesn't make sense for her future. So Kristina knew the live was going to be there. She hemmed and hawed about whether or not she was coming. We were all there prepared, and she eventually came. And what was so convenient about her coming is that she wanted to say that she was inebriated. Why would you get inebriated knowing you were coming to a live where people were going to ask you to answer for your nonsense? I don't know if she was inebriated or not, but she acted like somebody who was more inebriated than she could have been. And the reason why I say that is because she was in her own live just before
and she wasn't acting that way. So how you go from one live to the next and in a matter of 2 minutes, you're so inebriated that you can't answer questions or you're going to flip out and break your phone. She was like, oh my God, you're attacking me. I'm going to break this phone. Well, stupid. The only person hurt by you breaking your phone is you. We'll all be here with our phones to still talk. If you decide that you want to be so immature that you're going to break your phone, do it. And then guess what? Maybe we won't have to see you for a while. Nobody cares. But there were some revelations from that live that ticked me off. So I tried to have a conversation with her, and you know, I know people hate to hear me talk. But she has wanted to make her mental health recovery the responsibility of TikTok president. She says that if TikTok president comes to her and takes her, she'll go. And that if she doesn't have any support, so she's not going. If that isn't master manipulation, I don't know what is. Because at the same time, she'll say Kristina doesn't know her, that they're not really family, they're only family by marriage, and she's only met Kristina in person twice. So why are you so caught up in Kristina being, in TikTok president being present, when at the same time you say she's nothing to you? It doesn't make any sense. But one of the things Kristina refuses to do is take any accountability for the things she's done. Because what she wants to say is, yes, I did bad things. I've already apologized. I'm going to apologize again. Can we move on? That's not how an apology works. Because I can forgive you, but I'm never going to fully forget what you've done. And I have a right to protect myself from any further hurt. God forgives and forgets. Human beings do not. Correct, Erica. It does require changed behavior. So she's upset that her mom and cousins, sisters, I don't even know what, but I know her mom, she's very upset that they get support, but she doesn't. And so I was going through a series of bad decisions and lies she's told to try to get her to see, girlie, your entire TikTok career, and now that I know more, your life has been based on lies. You've lied to everybody about everything in order to get what you want. You've lied to doctors. You've lied to friends. You've lied to family. And how long do you think people want to be on that roller coaster? And I compared it to the roller coaster she was on with Kaden. Yes, I love you, but I can't keep getting beat, broken up, finding a safe place to be, then getting back with you, and we go do it all over again, etc., etc. That roller coaster, she's ready to walk away from. And I said, well, the roller coaster you had your friends and family on, they wanted to get off of it too. What did Jason say? I missed it. Can somebody post? Yes, Sue, she faked the pregnancy, admitted it, and was like, what do y'all want me to do? And then tried to allude to it again. Oh, you told me to shut up? The only person who could even think to tell me to shut up is Mister, and he wouldn't even tell me to shut up. He would say, pipe down, or Can you stop talking? Shut up. It's absolutely insane to me. But if you think putting that in the chat made you the star of the day, I promise you, when people do stuff like that to me, I'm going to talk even more and even longer. Shut up is rude. Like I care. I don't. Of course she uses men. Of course. So, anyway, for that little, okay, Jason, thank you for apologizing. I appreciate it. If I want to be forgiving, I have to be forgiving to you. But just watch and listen. Because I realize that sometimes when I talk about your fave, it can get like, why are you talking about my favorite person? But if you stick around long enough, you'll see that I'm not picking on any one or two people, but you'll see a common thread through everyone. So, of course, she said I was attacking her. Girl, me regurgitating your life choices to you, how is that an attack? It wasn't, but she wanted to act like it was. And then we had technical difficulties, you name it. I personally feel like she wanted some technical difficulties because at one point she says, you don't know what it's like to be in a domestic violence relationship. How do you know? How do you know what I've been through? Or anybody else in the chat? What was also sad, we already know that Lauren spent at a minimum of $600 because she had Lauren, her ex-mod and best friend, she had her believing that she was so afraid of Caden that she needed to go into hiding and that she had found a space for domestic violence people up in a different part of the state. She just needed to stay in a tent for a little while and then get there and she would be good. Lauren laid out every dime. And when the time was over and she was ready to go, do you think that Kristina packed it up neatly so just in case? No. She just left it and gave it away and was like, somebody homeless could use it. Excuse me? Because we know you might end up homeless again. So why wouldn't you pack that stuff up and bring it with you? Because she doesn't care because it wasn't her money. As long as it's somebody else's money, she doesn't care. But then the thing, okay, so there's that. She likes to talk about how her cousin, TikTok president and Cat Daddy stalks her and all of this. But what they were trying to prove is that you were lying. You were telling the people in your chat that you were alone and that you weren't with Caden. And they knew you were lying. And the only way to prove you were lying was to show you with him. And she went so far as to have him leave the front of the library so she could walk out there on her chat and say, see, look, he's not here. He was either inside the library or around the corner. Whichever one it was, you lied. And you lied in order to get people to give you money. I'm sorry, that's the lowest of the low. But of course, she wants to label it stalking and harassment, but leave out the part that she's lying to get money. And she's like, and they kicked me out of the library. Girl, well, why were you lying? Why were you taking advantage of kindness from people to put money in your pocket to be with a man that you claim beats your tail every time you turn around? Then she finally gets away from him, gets to a safe place. Lauren just spent all this money to get her to this new safe location. And within 48 hours, guess who was in the hotel room with her? Mind you, she got a hotel room that they paid for because she said that the shelter had like a requirement she had to meet. So they paid for her to have a hotel room just to find out that the town she went to was Caden's hometown. I can't imagine what went through Lauren's mind, because she thought she was saving this girl, and she went right back to the person who she claims has hurt her so badly. Make it make sense, because it doesn't. Eventually, Lauren's affected, because I can't keep doing this. And for that, Lauren, I applaud you. But then let's think about what she did. So eventually she again got away from Kaden. And that's when I stepped in to talk to her like a big sister. I was respectful, I was kind, and I've tried to provide her direction. Because I think anybody can change. So I got to give everybody time to do so. So we talked, we had a great conversation. I'm like, you're in a safe place. You have somewhere to eat. You have somewhere to be. Now it's time to get a job, and then you can focus. Well, within a week or less of being there, she found a new man. Now she wants to say that it was supposed to be a roommate platonic situation. That was the original agreement. She admits to that being the case, but then somehow, mysteriously, it turns into a romantic relationship. And do I think that she purposely made it so? Of course I do. Because when I'm your woman, the responsibility I have for this household is different than if I'm just a roommate. And she knew that within a short period of time, he was going to have to go to jail and do 30 days. Kristina didn't take a second. She let Caden know he was going to be going away and could come up. And what was it? That afternoon, after Josh went to jail, she brought Caden into her house after screaming and yelling that their relationship was over. And you want to tell me that's a good person? So now Josh is locked up. His apartment is being used by the girl that he thought he was in a relationship with. And she brings a whole nother man. And not just in the house, but playing in his stuff, sleeping in his bed, wearing whatever he has. Mind you, the apartment is in the dad's name. So when he comes and wants to get her out, the police are like, she's established residency. You can't put her out. You have to take her to court. Do you know what Mr. would do if he got out of jail? He would be like, I'm prepared to go back to jail. Are you kidding me? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, Santa prevailed. I don't know why you want to come up, but Mr. would be like, I just spent 30 days. I could spend another 60 to 100. But you're not going to have another man in my house. Mind you, they have to evict her, which also means they can't let the water get cut off, the electricity, the rent has to be paid, all of it. And what does she do? She immediately goes live with homeboy there, Caden, and she's flaunting this relationship once again into the people, or in front of the people who have saved her time and time and time again. How many twirls on the roller coaster have we been on? How many times are we going to do this? But every time she knows what's going to happen, she admits to knowing what's going to happen, but she doesn't care. She's going to do it anyway. And she's mad that nobody has an awareness live about the things that have happened to her. Since being there, she has pulled on the heartstrings of people who, out of the kindness of their heart, have continued to support her even in her nonsense. She called herself taking herself off of her subs, but couldn't do it. And within so many days had to be right back on. What mother wants to watch this up and down roller coaster ride? I'd rather not know. Call me when you get it straightened out, because I can't do this with you. But okay. Recently, and I don't even have all the details of all of this story, but enough is enough. So we remember when Kaden beat her up the last time, she had all day to call, or I should say all morning to call the police. She didn't. But when TikTok president, her cousin, said, "Do you want me to call?" she said yes, and then turned around and told Kaden it was TikTok president, not her. Why would you do that? Just to turn around and say to Kaden, "It wasn't me, it was Kristina, the cousin." And I told her then, don't you do another thing. Because all of this is performative, just to reach her goals when it comes to cash. But Kristina, TikTok president, has a huge heart. As do we all, mind you. Because without our hearts, we wouldn't do this. But Kristina was acting like her mental health was literally teetering on the edge. They spent hours getting resources together so that they could show up, get her declared unsafe, so that she could go and get the actual help she needs. She admitted to needing the help. But when everybody got there, after hours of phone calls and coordination, she looked at them and was basically like, "Nah, I don't need that help. This is just for TikTok." Excuse me? And so then later on when you're crying, you want me to believe you, right? Well, how can I? How can anybody help you when you are just playing up all of these things just to get a payday? And then it happened again. And then it happened again. So see, Kristina hasn't just been in this apartment alone. She's had some men callers. 2 in particular. But while she was on the phone with another friend, and I can't remember who she was, she told that friend that the man was pimping her out. And that she was afraid. Kayla, thank you. Kayla, in all her fear, got her a bus ticket to where she lived. And when the second man showed up, Kristina started having some sort of sexual interaction. Do you think Kristina put her phone down, turned it off? No, she left it on so that Kayla could watch. Nothing puppy power, nothing yet. Can you imagine that? And Kayla is believing that she's doing it because she's in fear of her life. So Kayla calls the police to get the men out. And then right behind it had an Uber go and wait for Kristina so she could gather her things, get out of the house, and get on the bus. Imagine that after Kayla hangs up because she doesn't want to watch this nonsense, this train wreck, and she's done what she thought was the best thing to do. Imagine getting a phone call from Kristina questioning why she called the cops. What do you mean? You've been telling me for how long that you were being pimped out against your will. You let me watch you do whatever it is that they required of you, and you wonder why I called the police? And then got mad at Kayla because she wasn't aware that the Uber was there to get her. The reality is she didn't want to go because she never intended on leaving. Kristina is exactly where she wants to be because she gets to be in an apartment she doesn't have to pay a dime for. She gets to utilize all of the utilities, the internet, you name it, cost-free. So when another time comes up, she can use all of this information. Can you imagine being Kayla? And Kayla sounds like a sweet young woman. And she even changed her, she's in school. She changed her major based on this interaction with Kristina. I mean, and I don't mean just this, but the span of time. And you, Kristina, have a nerve to get on live and act like somebody owes you something when you have ripped people's lives apart by your lies. You want us to feel bad for you because of what Kaden did, but have no sympathy for the fact that you kept putting him in situations that were uncomfortable and uncalled for, and then you didn't understand that a 21-year-old kid with a bunch of strength doesn't know how to use it and contain himself properly? It makes no sense. But then what I thought about was, because her original OP against Josh was dropped, and therefore now they can proceed with eviction, suddenly she had to go to the hospital because she claims he beat her up. And she showed up with some bruises, this, that, and the third. Was it the men who come in at night and do what they do to you, and you just blamed it on Josh? Is that what happened? Because I don't believe a single thing you say. When everything is everybody else's fault and you take no accountability, you are the problem. Yes, she was talking to him from jail. But we tried to have a conversation with her, and of course she was defensive. And when Kayla tried to talk to her, of course she needed to twist it in a way that made it Kayla's fault. And Lauren, her attitude was, I apologized to you already, so why are you even here? Because it shows a pattern of your behavior. I understand why your family wants no parts of you. Because every time somebody gets involved, they get so engrossed in your lies that they end up doing something that takes from them to give to you, and you don't even want it. You don't even appreciate it. But I think the thing that made me forever, and I don't say this lightly, hate this woman is because what she has done that's affecting my friend, TikTok president, emotionally, mentally. Because, yes, you've had 6 kids, but you don't take care of a single one. Not a single one. But then wants to tease TikTok president for her not being able to have kids. Every chance I get, I'm going to drag this girl. 6 kids. Especially when she knows that that was the result of a DV situation, and you're going to throw that in her face. But then at the same time, want her to be responsible for your mental health recovery? Girl, I don't care what you say, how you say it, where you're at. I'm going to drag you for all time. Because as a woman that wants empathy and support, you have to give it. And she gives 2 fucks about anybody else other than herself. I'm always going to be in your shadows. And I am always going to drag you for the filth that you are. Because you're not really caring about your own mental health, your own physical health, your own physical safety. You just want money and to be able to take advantage of other people. You went to the hospital based on a welfare check. You could have told them the truth about what happened, and instead you lied, and then on the live chewed C-Rat in your mouth. They saw the remnants of cocaine on the table. You are trash. And God bless that your children aren't in your presence, because then it would be all out war to get your kids away from you. The best thing to ever happen to your kids is that they're not around you. But I'm going to let you hear from TikTok president herself.
Well, I did have the amazing opportunity to speak to another person this morning that Kristina has been hanging out with in real life. Her name is Sarah. Sarah had a relationship with her a long time ago and then just recently came back in Kristina's life.
Hold on. Is that the one who bought her the hair and the shoes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So Sarah has been financially helping Kristina for about a month now. Helped her with shoes, helped her get her hair done, helped her she got hired at a job, helped her get hired at a job, helped her with money. She wasn't getting her SNAP benefits, wasn't said that she wasn't getting her medications. So many things she was helping her with. In 30 days, she's helped her with about $400. Okay.
Wow.
With about $400, she was also, in the meantime, helping Kristina make money. She was door dashing. Sarah was door dashing. She invited Kristina to come along with her, and they were splitting the money, despite the fact that they were using Sarah's gas. They were using Sarah's car. Sarah needed money herself. She was still trying to give Kristina an opportunity to make a little bit of money for herself. Well, then she stole from her, stole her son's medications out of her house.
What?
Okay. Yep. Her son has some mental health problems, and he's on some big medications. Stole those medications from her son. Stole multiple items from around her house. And when confronted about it, Kristina denied everything. Well, then they got into an argument about it in Pekin. She kicked Kristina out of the car and left her stranded in the middle of Pekin, which is not far from her house, but still left her stranded. Well, then the next day, Kristina proceeded to come on here on TikTok and say that Sarah robbed her and beat her up, which Sarah said was a complete lie. None of that ever happened. She told her to get out of her car, and that was it, after being confronted about stealing from her. But she did touch on the two guys also. She said that those two guys have been around for quite a while, even before Caden got arrested for the DV. The guy lives around the corner from Josh's apartment, and that they've all been getting high together. She did confirm that she has witnessed her, Caden, and the guy do METH. She knows for sure that they do CREC, and she has seen Kristina with Snow. So she does know that she's on multiple street rugs, which is, for people who don't know, you have to pass so many rug tests to get your subs. If you can't pass those rug tests, then your subs will be discontinued. So I believe that is why she's not on those. She's scared to go to the doctor to do the test. And so she's just kind of dropped off of that. And now she's including the street rugs with the alcohol, which is causing her to be very manic. It's causing her to be very manic. Anybody that has ever done CREC, it can cause you to be manic. Okay? Especially the reason she doesn't inhale it and she chews it is because it gives you a more intense elevation and a quicker elevation. So she's trying to get elevated as quickly and as deeply as possible. When I tell you guys, the police have been there 7 times in 5-day period trying to get her 5150'd, but then she's online acting crazy, acting manic, saying she wants to not be here anymore. But then the minute the proper people to get her help show up, she acts completely normal, completely fine, completely sober. And that's not uncommon. A lot of times when people in addiction are approached by law enforcement, they can clean up super quick. That happens a lot with manic people as well on a mental level. The officer said himself that has been dealing with her multiple times over the last 30 days that she's been there, that this is 100% an act, okay? 100% an act for social media. And he said, no matter what she says, to keep helping people be aware. It is all an act for social media, and I completely agree with that. So just stay vigilant, stay aware, keep sharing the word. I've had multiple other streamers and people ask for permission to cover her. Absolutely. You guys don't have to ask for permission to that. That's what we're all here for, to get the word out. To get the word out. I wouldn't have been able to get the word out without other awareness people helping me. I appreciate any help. So definitely get the word out. I am done helping her. I am also to the point that I am blocking people that message me, encouraging me to reach out to her, or are telling me that I need to do more for her. You guys are just getting blocked. I had to block my own moderator yesterday for that. So I'm done, But we will continue to watch and call out her lies. But as far as the help, that part is over.
Everything okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
So when people wonder why we talk about somebody, why you end up on the grid, it's not because we've just decided that we don't like you today. People have tried to help her over and over and over again. TikTok president has been kind and loving and understanding and tried to help her. And she's literally just kicked dirt in her face. When that's the situation, you know who I want to support? Not Kristina Test. I'm going to support TikTok president. And I want you to know that we love you and we love what you do. And we don't care about what's happened in the past. We're evaluating you based on who you are today. And you are a fantastic person. You do the right things on the wrong street. We love what you do. And I want you to stay strong. And I want you to know anytime when you might not be feeling like the strong, bad bitch that you are, I'm available.
Thank you, Dee Dee. You always remind me, honey.
Love you,
Love
bestie.
you so much. I love you.
Is there anything else y'all would like to say?
I think I'm done. I don't have anything else to say. I don't know. I wish, and I will continue to pray for her. And that's all I ask from people is, just continue to pray. And, as far as any other assistance or help, she's going to have to do it on her own. And I just ask that people keep your distance, be careful when dealing with her, because she definitely tries to trigger people and manipulate people into helping her, and using very sensitive topics. So just be careful when dealing with her. If we haven't learned anything, learn from what she's shown over the last week. Learn from all of the people that have tried to help her and come forward. I was so thankful that you came to that live that night, because I know that I am much more emotionally invested and you are very level-headed. And you were able to say things that I would have not been able to address. So I thank you so much for that.
Oh, I got your back, girl. especially when it comes to her, because I've watched you. I've watched you not only try to help the community by proving that she was lying, but I've watched you help her. And she's mad that you showed up to a court date, but not but mad that you haven't shown up to take her to a mental health facility where she has had multiple opportunities, whether you were there or not. It is all lies and deception and deflection. And when I watch her mods and enablers continue to do that, I say this: if a person has to have that much turnover when it comes to mods and awareness, and with mods and friends and locations, she is the common denominator. At some point, you have to acknowledge that she's the one with the problem, not everybody else.
Thank you so much, Dee Dee. I appreciate you again. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I love all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm going to go ahead and drop, though, because we're out and about. But I definitely thank everybody for being here and being so kind. I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you too. Keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy your lives, and it gives people a safe place to go. So thank you. Oh, Bestie didn't have anything to say? Okay. We already at 9 o'clock. This couple are the Chambers. And I was just scrolling TikTok. I believe she has 60,000 followers on TikTok, but don't quote me. She has a lot of followers. This is her account. Now, I don't know if he has an account, but last night he was live on this account. So I just have a feeling that they're sharing this account, but don't quote me. They also have a Facebook page. They don't even get a bolo, because the stuff she said in her live as it stood moved her from curious to bolo to nah. She's scamming these people. So let me show you something. Back in, you can see November 14th, 2024. This is them. They had a GoFundMe. And this GoFundMe was to reunite their family. Now, she's Canadian and her husband is Jamaican. They met in Canada, I believe. But he had to go back to Jamaica. I don't know if it was by choice or by force. I don't know. But I have a feeling it was by choice, because he can go back to Canada now. They got people to give them the money to start over in Jamaica. Okay? That was 2024 that they requested the money. Okay? And they get to Jamaica with their baby, and they start a business with his brother. Now, I don't have all of the details around their business. What I do know is that it failed, and that it seemed like they were accusing his brother of theft within the business, and that he was also a partner in, and it has left them destitute. And they have decided that they're going to come back to Canada. Right? And so what did they do? They created another GoFundMe, this time for $7,500. But, oh, you think, okay, they tried, they failed, and they want to go back. And maybe the brother did them wrong. I don't know. I have no way of knowing yet. But it is her attitude that is the problem. So she says things like, well, at least we tried. We tried to fulfill our dreams. How many people can say that they've tried to fulfill their dreams? It didn't work out, so we have to go back. That's nobody else's financial burden, baby, but your own. She'll say something like, I don't want to be 85 and have regrets. You might have regrets today, tomorrow, next year, and when you're 85. What are you talking about? And you got people in the comments like, exactly, at least you tried, at least you tried. Well, this is the thing. Did you really count the cost? Because the Bible says to count the cost before you move. You're supposed to weigh everything out. You're not supposed to make rash decisions. Did you count the cost? Did you even look into, well, what would happen if that didn't work out? Would I have to get a job? About where would I work? I could sell products on TikTok. I could do any number of things. But no, of course not. They got down there with their one plan. Their one plan didn't work, and now they want back. But that's not even the most disturbing part. So somebody was looking up their flights from Jamaica to where was it? She's from Ottawa, I believe. Anyway, somebody looked it up, and the tickets were $3,400, and they're trying to raise $7,500. And if you look at their GoFundMe, it's not just for travel back there; it's for hotel stays until they can get a place. It's the little girl's wait, I'm trying to think. It's the flights, it's the hotel, it's transportation, it's money to get a new place and to furnish it. But make sure you go check it out, because there's a link from her bio directly to it. And this is her account name. Oh, I forgot to put the @ in front of 876. That's her account. But that wasn't all. And none of that is even what pissed me off. People started asking, well, can't you get resources once you're back in Canada? Like, can't they help you find housing? Can't they do this? Can't they do that? Resources, right? You know what she said? We've decided that we don't want to get resources from the government. Bitch, what? You want people to reach deep in their pockets and hand you money so you can start life over again, but you won't take advantage of resources you qualify for? Correct me. What do you mean y'all have decided to not take resources? Are you kidding me? How dare you? How dare you? And so I was in there doing my due diligence, asking questions, trying to figure things out. Like, what did she really say that? That she just, and let me tell you why people don't want resources, they just want other people's cash. Because resources, A, require that you apply and tell your business. B, resources say this is resources for your rent. You can only use it for rent. Resources require redeterminations and proof of what you've done with the money. That's why. I was so disappointed. So as long as you're going to be on TikTok begging for money to get back to Canada because y'all made a bad decision, I'm going to be watching that GoFundMe. Because she's also tied it to her safety and the safety of her daughter. What? What are you talking about? But when you ask her a question like that, she doesn't feel like she needs to answer. She will literally just ignore you. Like you don't even exist. The only conversation she wants to talk about is a small section of the group that are here about getting her money. So Nadine, welcome to the grid. Nadine and Leon, welcome to the grid. And as long as you're going to use the kindness of people's hearts to fund your mistake after mistake, you're going to be here. So you just got 400 new friends. That's, again, that is her account. I don't know if he has an account or not, separately. But the idea that you feel like you're too good for state resources, girl, be for real. Ooh, not ready for that yet. Echo, stop. Nobody was talking to you. Let me just say this, because I really don't have time to talk about her now. Don't tease us. So for some reason, she had to leave her big, beautiful Airbnb. And she's in some other place, I think, that they had to pay for. And after moving her places, paying for the new place, she literally got on live, ate food, and then said, if anybody can help me get food, it would really be helpful. I haven't heard any more about the job interview to be a barista. Not another word about it. And let's not forget that she said that the government only supports the rich, so she don't plan on being on the roller coaster of working and paying taxes. Okay. Well, people are going to eventually figure that out and stop giving you money. And then what you're going to do? It's not going to work out. But I'll have more on her on Monday. Now, Let's get to Angela and Tim. And since Tim is the only one talking now because he's protecting his fragile wife from the things on TikTok, let's talk about it. Now, he's going to supposedly be live today. So it'll be interesting to see if he made it to the food bank on time on yesterday. It'll be interesting if they have to ask for food again today. Because, of course, on Monday when he went live, he chose to say that he went somewhere and talked to this church, but there was still no food, so they didn't have anything. And somebody sent them, I think, money directly. I don't think they purchased it at the store. Tim and Angela are another couple that makes rash decisions, doesn't think through it, doesn't determine what the cost will be. They don't bother to do any research whatsoever. They get somewhere and they're like, we have TikTok, we'll just ask. Now, if I was receiving letters from somebody, I would be nervous too. I would want to get as far away from them as possible. But you still did absolutely no research whatsoever. And that's a problem. Because they always want to say how hard it is to get on there and ask for money. But it seems awfully easy to me. I find it disgusting. But I have to turn this around. Because I have said over and over and over again that mean trolling only helps him. Because he's able to use every altered photo, every comment to his benefit. It is almost like the trolls are in cahoots with the scammers. Because they will wait until they don't have any money prospects to start trolling. And then because people don't like bullies, they're going to give money anyway, even though they themselves are bullies. So let's start with the thing he was talking about. Now, do I think he should stay off of Reddit? I do. Because if TikTok is bad, Reddit is hell. Like, TikTok is in the hood and Reddit is in hell. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Because if this happened to your husband or your son and was floating around the internet forever, you wouldn't find it funny. It could have been made in jest. But it only makes us look bad when we condone that behavior. When we say, no, that pic isn't real. It was altered to put, I don't know if they just put his head on a body. I don't know. But it's unnecessary. Now, I don't know who did it, but it's unnecessary. All it does is make people laugh about something that if somebody did it to them or their loved one, they would be pissed off. Yes, we are sick of them and their nonsense. But this gives them a storyline. He's able to come up here and say over and over and over again, do you see what they're doing to me? My mental health is so bad. I don't know why they don't leave me alone. I don't even want to be on this app anymore. This is why we left where we were, because everybody was doing things and we didn't feel safe. You are giving him the excuse for why he needs money from people, for why he suddenly needs to go into hiding. Writing him threatening letters, writing jobs or potential jobs threatening with letters. How can we want him to get on the right path if we keep dragging him in this way? And not because a mature adult would be able to separate the two. But he's not. He's a scammer. Nana B, no. Of course we don't know. He might be in the exact same hotel. We have no idea. But somebody else, he's somewhere, whether he's in the same town or not. And the problem is he's still getting money. Remember when he claimed he had gotten that job and he was starting on Sunday, and then on Monday it was like, oh, it didn't work out. Oh, now I'm looking at temp agencies. No, I found another temp agency and I got to show this, that, and the third. He has zero motivation to get out and get it. What he does have the motivation to do is pull this up and talk about it and say, look at how they treat me. Absolutely, Bridget, he does. So why would we give it to him? He's in a skirt and heels with boobs and a bra. And while he was complaining about it, he was being teased. Let's show you. And this isn't all of it. And thank you to Little Man for capturing it. So Sandy is Matilda. And first they say, worry about making money. Worry about providing for yourself. Okay, I'm okay with that. That's cool. Then they say, do you need a cheeseburger today and pay me Tuesday? Okay, works for me. Why don't you just embrace it? Talking about the skirt. Then are you ashamed of yourself? I think you look cute, Timothy. Maybe you should worry about making cash. And then JSA comes in and says, give it up and get a damn job. Okay, that's cool. Support yourselves. What about people you took money from? Okay. Then Matilda says, do you not like the color of the dress? And then JS says he didn't. And I believe that was in reference to, did he make the picture or not? And then she says, I'm at work. Well, why are you entering the chat to defend something if you're at work? And so, hold on, because I want to make this clear. I have talked about people who troll in the most mean and vicious way only makes them sympathetic. And they lean into that hard because it causes people to want to give money just to combat the bully. And sometimes it happens just as they're reaching their limit, just when they're reaching the point where they would be kicked out. And then a Matilda account will show up and go off. And sometimes it's funny, I'm not going to lie. But as time has gone on, it has gotten more and more vicious. And my concern is that we now have a bunch of mini Matildas running around, being mean and nasty and going further and further and further because they're speaking to the lowest part of themselves. It doesn't help our cause to do that. I'm sorry. It doesn't. And Matilda knows how I feel because in a public platform many months ago, I said that some of what Matilda does is funny, but a lot of it I don't like, I don't appreciate. Because I know how I would feel if it was happening to me or to my son or to my father. The idea that you say to somebody whose grandmother is about to die that you put a blanket on her, but it was too late, that you're laying next to her trying to keep her warm. Are you okay? Like, who hurt you? Because the only thing they do is they turn around and they use it for sympathy. The other day, Tim made an entire show of acting like his mental health was so bad he was on edge. Now, again, I will say, Timothy, why are you looking at Reddit at all when you know what's going to happen? But at one point, JSA asked him, do you know what a snark page is? So just because a snark page is a snark page, we don't have any sense? We can just do whatever we want? And for you, JSA, to continue to support Matilda while Matilda does these things is disappointing. And I can't demand that Timothy be specific about who he's talking about if I don't say who I'm talking about. Now, you can continue to do whatever you want to do on your platform. I can't tell you one way or the other. But I can take a stance and say, I don't like it. I don't think it's helpful. And if we're going to call out bad behavior, we got to just call it out. I can't be mad when somebody does it, but forgive when somebody else does it. Now, Tim and Angela are not off the hook. They will stay on the grid because they feel like other people should take care of them. They have gotten comfortable in this space. It's like a person living their entire life in the projects, raising their kids in the projects. The kids and then get apartments in the projects, and then their kids are growing up, and the generational curse of over and over and over again. People will get used to their environment no matter what that environment is. Even when it is unsavory, they'll get used to it. And I feel like that's where Tim and Angela have gotten. This is cool. We don't got to clean. We don't have to cook. We don't have to pay for each individual bill. We just pay one bill. We get TV and cable and a coffee machine and you name it. You get comfortable. But at this point, you guys aren't being helpful to the cause. Now, I apologize if I've offended some people, but again, if I'm going to demand that Tim and Angela say who they're talking about, it is not fair that I just make reference to something and I don't call out who's doing it. Correct, Jody. We do it every day. And I'm sorry. That's my stance. Now, again, people don't like the way I do it. And they are free to comment and say how they feel about it. There's nothing I can do about that. But if I'm going to stand for something, I got to stand on it. Because it has gone too far. And what do I always say? A real friend will check you if they think you're doing something wrong. So either they aren't real friends or she condones the behavior. She enjoys it. She finds that it's okay. But I remember her being very upset when her photo was shown, which she had every right to be. But you can't have it both ways. Enough is enough. And see, it's this little stuff that awareness team will call out and be like, they won't call out one of their own. And use it against us. And to run around to the scammers and tell them, well, they have somebody who bullies and nobody calls them out. Why is that? But they're calling you out for your bad behavior. Now, I'm not kowtowing to any of them. But if I'm going to stand for something, I got to stand on it. 10 toes down. Good morning. And if I'm going to criticize what's wrong, I don't get to hide my hands when something else is wrong. Now, Tim is not off the hook because later, by the way, if you want to see the evidence for yourself, go to little.man 2.1 and you will see. Let me show you what it actually looks like. That's what it looks like. So you'll see page by page, well, not page by page, but I took photos of the comments where they said, why don't you embrace it? Are you ashamed of yourself? Something about we do, this is a stretch, Tim. You can watch the whole thing. But Tim doesn't get a break. Because there was somebody, and oh wait, this isn't the right one. Sorry, hold on. Brenda, in their live, says, I have cancer and I still work. And his mod, what's her name? Her real name? I can't remember right now. But his mod says to her, do you want a cookie? Not everyone's the same. Jesse, correct. And Tim said nothing. For someone who is so sensitive about his wife being declared a cancer survivor and how devastating that was for their family, why wouldn't you check your mod, Timmy? You saw it because y'all talked about it later on. You didn't call her out. You didn't tell her she was wrong for doing that to a cancer patient. You don't know what that woman's going through. But see, Jessie uses modding for people to be mean, to be nasty. She gets off on blocking people who haven't even said a word. That's why she's a mod. But Tim, if we're supposed to be responsible for everybody in our chat and everybody that follows us, and we're supposed to be responsible for everybody in the community and every single thing they do, how come you can't even control your own mods in your own live? Make that make sense. So a little while later, I don't even know if I have that, because like I said, I ran out of time. She apologizes and uses the excuse that she was having a bad day. But could somebody apologize to him for anything? Absolutely not. He can lie and say he didn't do something, and then he gives a weak, half-hearted apology. It's an apology, but you can't even call it out when it's your mod. So after apologizing, other people were pissed off. Like, how can you still have her as a mod after that? And you want to know what Tim's response was? Well, if the person she was talking to isn't making a big deal, why are you? Excuse me? Does he allow me to use that excuse when somebody's in my chat that says something mean? No, it is all my responsibility, and I'm also supposed to be responsible for what everybody does in the community. It is all my job. But you can let chaos reign in your chat. And he's like, I love my mods. My mods are the best. They do this and they do that. But you can't check an issue? It doesn't work that way. So if you thought you were getting a pass because I found what happened to you to be deplorable, you are wrong, because you are no better. You are just using it as a way to get money. You talking about how depressed you were and how you were so stressed out, but you didn't want Angela to know. That's why you left her in the room so she's not on TikTok. Y'all both have phones. If she wants to be on TikTok, she will be. Which one is it, Timothy? Because if you're going to hold me to any sort of standard, I'm going to hold you to the highest. Since you're the one getting money from people on TikTok for a never-ending saga. Okay. And y'all, I understand that sometimes some of what's said is funny. And it's funny too because you're frustrated with them. But apply the principle. What if it was you, your mom, your dad, your spouse, your significant other, your children? How would you feel? Correct, Erica. It's all fun and games until it's you. So look at yourself. Look into, hey Brenda, look, they are not nice people in any way, shape, or form. And I hope you heal and come out on the other side valiant and victorious. And I am sorry with what happened to you in that live. Because Jesse Fields, Indica, what is it? Indica Vibes 420, her bad day shouldn't be relevant to what you put in the comments at all. And Mr. Timothy, who has a wife who he claims survived cancer, which she didn't. She just had precancerous cells. But for him to want to talk about how great it was in the community and all the support and how these are all reasons why she can't work and woe is me, feel bad for me, send me money. And then he allowed that in his chat. He is no better than the people who drag them for the way they look. And so I know he knows that if it wasn't today, it was going to be another day. So I said what I said. Now, a lot of you were in my pop-up Red Alert Live on Tuesday night. If you missed it, please go watch it on YouTube. Because and let me be clear, let me say this out loud. If anybody wants to restream that live on their platform, be my guest. I don't usually like that, but in this case, the more information that makes it out to the far reaches of the app, the better. This is a woman who is absolutely disgusting. And so in a short recap, we found out that there's a young lady on this app that's around 20 years old. So she is an adult. She lives at home with her mother and her boyfriend. And for gifts on TikTok, she's willing to either shake her tail, bend over like she's on doggy style. The clothes she wears tend to be like young kid pajamas. She looks 12 years old. So you know the men giving her money are like into those pedo vibes. Like she looks like a child, and that's what gets them off. She simulates sexual acts on her boyfriend when they're willing to pay for it. There's no too low. And Sheena started accepting money from her, and not a penny or 10 flowers or 25 heart me's. No, we're talking in one day, she gifted Gina $200 in gifts. In one day. How dare you? When you have daughters her same age. And what's funny is River won't give her a penny. River won't give her a penny for nothing. She doesn't even call her mom. She calls her Sheena. But you're going to take money from a 20-year-old. And so one of the things Sheena did at first, because she always tries damage control first. She went to her live and was like, I didn't know that's what she did for money. And we were able to prove that she absolutely knew. She absolutely knew. She stayed long enough to hear her say, yes, she does it. She's going to continue to do it. And she gets between $100 and $400 a day. Once it was reported that she got $900 in a day. And to show you how Sheena flip-flops, in one case, she didn't know that's what you did because she realized it would make her look bad. And then 5 minutes later, it's, I don't care what she does for her money. Excuse me? I bet they did. Truth, TikTok. What is it? Beggars and Enablers. I bet they did. Because they're interested in watching her show. They want to see it because she's young and dumb. And one of the things that pissed me off about Sheena is that Sheena knows that this girl gets benefits. Now, again, I haven't been able to prove that she gets Social Security. But if she does, let me show you what the presentation showed. Nope, that's the wrong one. I did an update. Oh, please send me her mother's account. I did an update on the requirements of getting gifts on TikTok for SSI. This is for SSI only. They are required to report all TikTok gift cash outs to SSA within 10 days. Within 10 days. So you're not even allowed to wait until the 1099 comes out. You have 10 days to report it, because the way they adjust, they would adjust this month's overage with a reduction in next month. Now, if I wasn't able to prove she was on Social Security, she said for herself that they were on food stamps and that she was doing this to make extra money for her family, right? You would think that Sheena would know that if she was getting all this money and gifting it, that she could lose her benefits. And that as a grown woman with life experience, she wouldn't want to do it to that girl. Because what we do know is that Sheena isn't going to shake her ass to give anybody anything. In fact, if you ask something of her, she's going to block you and then come up with a reason for why you're no longer friends. And people are going to wonder what happened, but they're so far up your tail, whatever you do is okay. I've had enough of Sheena. And so I did my live. And Sheena was watching. She tried to pretend for a while that she wasn't. But she was. And so I watched her live, her watching me. So she tells her people that, because people were immediately like, I don't even know what they were saying, but I'm sure it was something like, digital is live about you, or there's a live about you. And she's like, yeah, I know. She was like, it was so boring, I was falling asleep. Because she's just saying the same things they always say. Really? Is that really how you feel? Because sometime later, when she wanted something, she told her chat that she was nervous and upset. But just before that, you said, I'm just repeating what's already been said. Which one is it, Sheena? Right, Erica. This is the other part. She told them that she was so worried about what was coming that she had to go to the doctor to get an anxiety pill and a pill for her mental health. Let me tell you why I call bullshit on that. I didn't announce that I was going to go live to talk about her until about 6 to 6:30 on Tuesday night. By then, doctors' offices are closed. So how can you have been nervous all day for something you didn't know was coming? So I call bullshit on that. You're lying. But okay. Then somebody said, well, what she's saying is true. And Sheena was like, yeah, some of what she's saying is true. Everything that I was saying was true, Sheena. There was no conjecture. I was spitting the facts as we know them, as we have watched you commit one thing after another after another. There wasn't any made up stuff. And the person, when she said yes, it was true, she said the only parts that were true. Okay, thank you, Disturbed One. She said the only parts that were true was about her over begging and talking about her fragment too much. Then she said that she had only watched Jasmine 3 times. Y'all been friends on the app for 5 months and you've only gone to see her live 3 times, but it was enough for you to get money out of her? Because for Sheena, no money is too bad. If the mob showed up at her door and gave her $1 million, she would take it. And then try to play dumb about it. You were her mod just so you could get rid of Stabby Daddy and his crew. But it was okay to do what you did. But if you've only been in her live 3 times, how are y'all talking off the app? And how we know that is because Jasmine recording said that they would talk later. That's off. And if y'all are talk, we all know Sheena, when she's trying to protect herself, will talk to anybody, and especially somebody giving her money. She doesn't want to lose her as a gifter. She just wants to have enough space so she can say, we're not the same. Let me remind y'all, TikTok isn't a therapist. If you're allowing your mental health to get so bad because of TikTok, you have to question yourself. Not all money is good money. So let's say you do all this TikToking and then you unalive yourself. I promise you, your family would rather have you than the money. But Sheena. Okay, football head, I'll look for it. Let me write that down. I'm sorry. Of course it's an act, small town girl. Absolutely an act. Because how are you talking about I'm shaking, I'm so upset about what's happening, and say that you went and got anxiety medication and nobody knew I was going live until I posted it at 6:30 at night? What have you been afraid of? And I said from the beginning, her worst nightmare is us getting together to talk about her. That is her worst nightmare. My question is, when she's going off on people, why doesn't she feel bad then? When you're treating your gifters like shit, do you think about their nervousness? Do you think about the fact that they're concerned about their bills? No. You just say and do whatever you want, all in the name of getting money. She says she knows that what she does is wrong. That's not where the sentence ends, ma'am. Because if you know what you're doing is wrong, then you as an adult should change it. You know what she said at the end of one of her lives? I know I'm rude. I know I'm abrasive. I know I beg too much. And if you don't like it, go watch somebody else. I'm not the person for you. Excuse me? Then she talked about how she had only made $39. I say prove it. Because at one point, wait, let me see if I can find that. At one point, she says, you want to see what my bonus is? You want to see what my bonus is? And she shows it, and it was like $9. Well, that's cute to show because the number is low. I don't want to see the bonus. I want to see what you have gotten out of direct payment. Forget the bonus. But she does stuff like that to act so that people think, well, she showed us what it is. All for One that night showed that I think it was like 500 and some odd days, which is almost 2 years. She's gotten $58,000, which is a huge amount of money to sit on there, ignore the chat, do your diamond art, wash a dish or two, do the laundry, and comes back and sits down and does diamond art. But I want you to think about it this way. If Sheena took home $58,000, that means, and I'm talking about at a minimum, I already know the number is higher, but just to keep things simple, that means that TikTok earned $58,000. So that means that people have sent her a minimum of $116,000 in that year. $116,000. So when she cries about she only got X, Y, and Z, that's because you're sharing that money with TikTok. How dare you act like you're not getting money? Because it's not just about the amount you're getting. It's about how much they're paying. But she doesn't give any acknowledgement to the fact that while she may only be getting a certain amount, the people are paying double what she gets. So think about that. Forget what Tick Leap shows that she makes. They do karma, which is why they take more than that depending on what level you're on. That's why the fragments are so important to her, because the more fragments, the higher up she goes, the more of a percentage she gets. And I believe the highest percentage is 50-50, where you rise to A1. So on D5, you're getting 30% and TikTok is getting 70%. That is why people push so hard to go higher up in the rankings, because they get a bigger percentage. So think about that. People have sent her over $116,000 in about 2 years. And she has a nerve to get mad at them when they haven't charged and given her money. Now, Sheena could have done anything with the time that I talked about her, because I know she was listening, because at various times she was responding to what I was saying without directly responding. And she had the opportunity to be in there. And at one point she was like, guys, thank you for being in here and not over there. Well, see, Sheena, you didn't protect them for anything, because that live is posted on YouTube. And if they ever wanted to see what was happening on the other side, it wasn't a one and done. And then Stabby was somebody else played the entire live. Again, if you're a streamer and you want to stream that, be my guest. Because I need people to understand the depths by which she's taking advantage of kind-hearted people. So at one point she said she only made $39, like I said. Prove it. And then she said, this night is rougher than others. Well, if I'm only talking about the things that everybody already knows about, why is me talking about it so rough? I have covered you, Sheena, multiple times. And I've said the same thing. So why tonight were you so particularly nervous when you couldn't have found out before 6:30? She says, just like the rest, I'm so depressed. I can't take it anymore. And then literally she says, I'm so depressed. I can't take it anymore. But don't forget, guys, we need to get to 70%. Yo, I literally laughed out loud. She's had her gifts suspended before, but I think we need a concerted effort to get it suspended for longer. I think that only lasted 3 weeks or 4 weeks. We need something a little longer. Wait, I can't even read my writing. If you want to refute what I'm going to say, why not come in the box and refute it? Again, let's have a conversation. She won't, because she knows I will catch every lie and call her out on it. So then she says, I've only gotten $39 for the week. Baby girl, it was Tuesday night. And at one point, she was like, we haven't gotten the galaxies yet. Like, come on, what are we doing? And I'm watching her thinking, I am over there on the other side of TikTok, across the street from you, dragging you for this exact behavior, and you don't care. I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes. I wrote down that in her mind, she's thinking, gift me because I'm sad because people are telling the truth about me. You're awesome to her. She loves you as long as you're gifting. Last night, when I was in her live momentarily, somebody said, how come you don't treat me the same now that I don't have money to gift? And she was like, I treat everybody the same. Sheena, if that were true, people wouldn't say it. I've never had somebody say to me, why do you treat me differently because I don't gift you? It's not a requirement over here, but it is a requirement over there. And that's why they feel like if you aren't actively contributing, then why be here? And her mods are just as bad and vile because they claim that they only want truth and it's only truth over there. But the moment that truth doesn't align with her point of view, muted and blocked, out the door you go. Then she mentioned that the $200 Jasmine gave her would be coming on this past Monday's payout. What difference does that make? You're getting the money. What did she say? Hold on. I'm getting old. I gotta bring the book. Right. Okay, this is where she just showed us the bonus that was $9. And then she said something about people are mad she's in her PJs. I didn't say a word about her PJs. What I didn't realize until last night, though, or not last night, but the night before, was that she's selling those pajamas. She's wearing them to sell them to other people. They should have picked somebody else. So she started to try to battle someone. And it's the black young lady that she has battled often. And it was her birthday. And yes, she said happy birthday to her. And the people in her chat said happy birthday. But Sheena, in Sheena's way, says, we could try to battle, but I don't know how. I don't know if I have a team. Bitch, what? These people have been in here gifting you this whole time while you ignore them. But you're worried about having a team on that girl's birthday? Because what would Sheena say if it was her birthday? So what? Let's play. So what? But with the glitch, she couldn't battle anybody outside the country. And then she said, can anyone recharge? Then she says, manipulation. Guys, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. We'll just lose the fragment. We? There's no we in this equation. It's just you and your money. She's like, I wasn't even on a lot today. What difference does that make? You still expect them to have gotten their money recharged, so when you do go live right before 11, you'll have the money. Then she had a nerve to tell Jasmine, I'm so sorry they're playing your video. Yeah, because you know that it's exposing you. She was like, just know they're going to look up your mom. You know why we have a problem with her mom? We have a problem with her mom because what mom allows her to do for money. Don't care who her mom is. Then, of course, we're back to we need 3 galaxies. She's not doing anything to get the money. Like, can somebody explain to me why she blocked Jasmine, blocked because she doesn't approve of how she makes money? As of when? My thing is that she doesn't do anything for the money. So what do her people get out of it other than she doesn't want... I'm sorry. Wait a minute. What? Oh, she said that last night? Be for real. Because she said that before and then told her it doesn't matter how you make your money. But why aren't your girls doing it then? Back to the book. You heard it all before. You're not worried about what I'm talking about. You're worried about your fragment. And I'll tell you why. She at one point talking about Jasmine said that she considered her a friend. But remember, if you keep sending gifts, I'll be able to keep my fragment. And then she talked about our gift gallery. Sheena, all of that is yours. Somebody go tell her I'm not streaming her, please. Like, why lie? I don't get it. Why lie? I'm not talking about her. Tell her she's a day late and $1 short. Yeah, that's Raquel. Shungus. I'm talking about a completely different person. Last night, somebody said this is Sheena's job. I said, can you explain to me what she does? What is her service? What does she provide? Somebody tell me. What service does she provide that this is her job? Miss me with it. So then at some point, she asks River to text her sister because I guess the sister was supposed to come home and then decided not to because it was snowing. And when River texted her sister Star, Star called her mother directly. Do you know she called her mother 3 times and Sheena wouldn't stop to answer the phone? She's like, tell her I'm live. Are you kidding me? So you having your face on the screen while you're doing absolutely nothing but diamond art is more important than finding out what your daughter needed. So at one point she says to the to the chat, I'm so nervous about her. So what were you nervous about that night? Were you nervous about the live? Were you nervous about losing your fragment? Or were you really nervous about your daughter? Which one is it? For somebody who works this hard to get gifts, you should be able to get a job. You can get a work from home job. You can get a promotion job. You can get a direct sales out of your house. The thing that got me though is when she came to say that she lost, Maine Care, the Medicaid for the state of Maine, and blamed it on TikTok. Now, perhaps somebody knew that she was committing fraud by not claiming her income so she could qualify. But the federal government pays half of Medicaid and food stamps, which means they are the holders of the information. They ask you to send in your information so that they can send that information on to the states. Nobody had to call. You making almost $58,000 in 2 years would disqualify you from every program on the planet. Your husband has a job. The people who live in your house have a job. Why did you think that was going to roll over and the government was going to be like, oh, TikTok said you made this last year and you haven't reported it to refute the amount? She was... Oh. So then she's like, I didn't even know TikTok. River showed me TikTok. Just because somebody shows you something doesn't mean you have to do it and make a fool out of yourself. I can take you to the top of the bridge and say, people jump here. Would you jump here? It doesn't mean that you're supposed to jump. But she has a scammy vibe attitude, even from her paparazzi days. Because she certainly wasn't doing that properly either. Sheena is all about the dollar in her pocket. She doesn't care about these people. If they dropped off the face of the earth, she wouldn't care. And let me say this. I said it in a live later. Initially, I was thinking that all of the money that she gets at the last second, Jordan Paul's live, somebody's pretending to be Raquel. Be for real, girl. This is a still photo. The fact that literally she'll have 2 minutes left to 11, which is the cutoff point for the weekly gallery. I just say daily. They show it up there. The fact that somebody will come in with 2 minutes to left and send her the biggest gifts just so she has enough that she wants to have felt very suspicious to me. And I felt like she might have been paying people again to gift her. But I was like, that's a lot of coordination. You'd have to have a lot of people ready. And then it occurred to me, it's probably an agency. It is probably an agency that is using her account, for instance, because she has so many still in her name. What would an individual do? Not enough. But an agency will send some random person from their agency to keep her at the level. Why? Because that's what makes them attractive to other creators. If you have 90 creators and 85% of them are making money, when they go to promote themselves to other people, they like to use accounts like Sheena's to say, we keep her at 80%. Miranda K, let me tell you something. I actually have started a page that's called The Lighthouse with DD, where minds and hearts are safe. And we just did the first live last night discussing mental health. I take mental health very seriously. But I don't absolve anyone because they're allowing TikTok to negatively impact their mental health. If her mental health is so bad because of what's happening on TikTok, there is only one remedy. Miranda, can I ask you a question? Do you think that it was right of her, knowing that this 20-year-old young lady, let's show her, for people who aren't aware, let's show her. I'm going to get there. Give me 1 second. Do you think it was right for Sheena to utilize this young lady who is supposed to be 20 but looks 12 to shake her ass on TikTok for money and then gift Sheena? What do you think? Well, see, that's the point. You don't know any details of what I'm talking about, but you want to come in here and assume that I don't care about people's mental health. Does she care about the mental health of the people that she demands money from? Because, see, Sheena will ask for money morning, noon, and night. And then, not only does she ask for the money, if they stop throwing for her at any time during the day, she gets mad at them and says, why isn't anybody throwing? What are we doing? I thought we were here to have a good time. What? We were supposed to have a good time? But you're the only person getting money? They are losing money. Again, she took home $58,000 in just under 2 years. But that means that TikTok, even if it was a 50-50 split, which it's not, took home $58,000. So that means that the people supporting her have had to pay $116 in the last 2 years to keep her propped up in the rankings. And you want me to care more about her mental health than the things that she's doing to the people in her chat. I'm sorry. I'm more concerned with the people in her chat who are trying to keep her happy. She literally will open up a diamond art and ignore them if they're not sending her money. And what's crazier is that then when they start sending, she's been ignoring them for so long, she misses it. And then people are like, they sent a gift. And then she's like, oh God, I missed it. I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you. The phoniness by which she acts when somebody sends her a big gift is laughable. She deserves to give somebody an acting lesson. She'll be mad. I'm mad. I have an attitude. I'm going to leave if I miss this fragment. Blah, blah, blah. And then somebody sends her a big gift and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh, guys, do you see? Oh my God. Oh my God. We're at 69% now, guys. Oh my God. We're going to keep the fragment. But just remember, it could get swiped away. So keep sending so that we're at like 67, 68%. So we know we can keep the fragment. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much. You are standing up for someone who could care less about how she makes anybody else feel. You have a 20-year-old shaking her ass and sending you money. And instead of you saying to that 20-year-old, hey, listen, mind you, a 21-year-old who is poor, she's taking hundreds of dollars from this girl. So miss me with the morality of these people have mental health conditions, because it is not stopping them from being some of the worst human beings on the planet. I'm sorry, but you can miss me with that. They always want us to be concerned about the scammer without remembering the people who are getting scammed and their mental health. People have sent her thousands of dollars, right? And the moment they're not sending, they're no longer friends. The moment they express frustration at her demands, they get blocked. Forget about the fact that they've sent her $10,000. The moment they're no longer serving her, she no longer has a need for them. How would their mental health be? Huh? It doesn't make sense. And when it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. Shout out to Judge Judy. Then she said she wasn't begging for gifts. She's promoting products. So River gets in the box and tries to like distract her and say to her, like, forget about the fragment. Like, be just a normal human being. She couldn't even help herself. Then this was the laughable part, y'all. She said, I did that live to be relevant. Sheena, there are 332 people in here. You're happy when you get 100, 125, 199. I have 300 people in here that want to hear what I have to say. I don't need you to be relevant. What I do need from you is for you to get your act together. Because if you know what you're doing is wrong and you're still doing it, that makes you a bad person. Because this isn't about whether you believe in the Bible or not, you believe in God or not. That's not a requirement. What is a requirement is that you treat everyone with the same level of respect, regardless of how much money they have, regardless of where they live. You aren't obligated to receive anything. And she's gone from being being humble and appreciative to an expectant, mean-spirited beggar. And on my list, that's a scammer. So to say that I need you to be relevant is the laugh of the year for me. And with that, I'm going to close my presentation. Oh, Miranda. Hold on one second. Miranda, I would love for you to come take a box. Because I just want to have a conversation. And I'm never mean or disrespectful. Thank you, Fiona. Yep, Pillow Princess, I see you. But I want to have a conversation with Miranda K first. If she would take a box. Maybe she went back to tell her that, oh, it's about Miranda? Okay. Maybe she went to make sure that you at least go back and tell her that I'm not trying to pretend to be her. Why would I?
Yeah, I just got blocked out of her live because she had seen her mods come over here, seen you had an awareness about her, and now little Miss Chud thinks that you are stealing her ID and pretending to be her and denouncing you being a mental health advocate. That's why her mods are over here. Because somebody made a troll account, because we know, DD, you go on your own account when you go in people's accounts, correct?
Correct.
Okay, somebody made a troll account of Chud, and now she's saying that it's you hiding behind it, and she's going to get you arrested.
Girl, you have to prove it first.
Right.
I'll do that.
If you know anything, Miranda, take this back to Chud. DD does not hide behind hider accounts. DD does not dox anybody.
Nope. And I certainly
Oh,
don't
they're
create.
streaming you right now. I have somebody
Oh,
in my
good.
ear who's watching, and they are streaming you right now, listening to me run my mouth as I hear my own self in the box. She's showing you right now. Hey, Chud, get your facts straight, because DD comes with facts and doesn't hide behind hider accounts. Your ass is being trolled, Chud. Everybody say hi to her.
Okay, wait. I want to turn. Raquel, first of all, I don't create troll accounts. I find her name is Chungus. I find that to be childish. First of all, Miranda, I've welcomed you to a box. It could just be you and I will cut the comments off. 100%. But since you're streaming me, let me say the things I've wanted to say to you. So Raquel, you have people taking care of your daily needs. What are you doing to take care of your children? Huh? You float around in Chicago now doing anything and everything you want to do on somebody else's dime, as if you don't have a care in the world. But you have children that live in Mexico with their grandparents. And I never, not once, see you mention them in a way that you want to do something for them. Never, not once. It's all about you. And then you got an interview. You were able to get the interview online on Zoom because you were sick. And miraculously, you were able to talk to Lad Bible. You were able to go live. You were able to make videos. But somehow you forgot about the interview because you thought it was a different day. Anybody who wants to work knows that on the very phone that they're making TikToks on, they can set alarm. You could have set 35 alarms that would go off to remind you of the day. And what's more sickening than anything is that as soon as you realized it, or you pretended to realize it, you were like, well, I gotta forgive myself. Literally, the first thing you did was forgive yourself. That is nuts. But that's not the lowest. Let's talk about the fact that you then said later on in a live that you don't understand why we work and pay taxes. You're not doing it. So for all of her people who think that you're just giving her money until she gets on her feet, she doesn't plan to work and pay taxes. Those are the words that came out of her mouth, not mine. I only talk about what she does or doesn't do as it relates to her TikTok page. That's it. I'm not sending anybody. That's it. But then this is where you went from, oh, wait, you know what? Let me show her photo. This is who we're talking about. Sorry. This is her this is her. Then you said something that took you from being a manipulator, liar, scammer to the realm of disgusting. You said, I believe in natural selection, that we need to stop weakening our bloodline. Who were you talking about? Were you talking about people who were ill so that they shouldn't be able to have children because they were ill? Because if that's the case, Raquel, you shouldn't exist because your mother had epilepsy. So if it's about people having illnesses, you shouldn't be here and therefore your children shouldn't be here. If you're talking about race, what race shouldn't mix with your blood? Huh? Because your children are half Mexican. So it can't be Mexicans and white women because you have those children. So what are you talking about exactly, Raquel? The box is open. You can come over here and explain yourself. But don't come over here and tell people that I'm trying to steal your identity. Baby, your identity isn't worth stealing. You have nothing. You're going nowhere, and you've made that choice already. What do I want with your identity? What? Other people take care of you? So that's the identity I want? You couldn't be me on your best day. You couldn't be me on your best day. And
By the
you have
way,
somebody in here talking about mental health? Do you know how offensive the words you said could be? How it could affect somebody's mental health? That we should have natural selection? That somehow something with your bloodline is weakening your bloodline? Who are you talking to? And why would I want to be you? I love being me. I meet every day. The only thing I do is show a picture so people know who I'm talking about. I'm not streaming you. I don't have time for that. That's not what I do. So stop lying to your people to make yourself seem more sympathetic. I don't stalk you. I'm not watching you. I don't have a little camera in the beautiful Airbnbs people are paying for. All I have to do is watch you on the internet. And by the way, blocking me is symbolic. I will always be able to watch. But make an account of you, never. Never, not never. I have never done that. In the year and a half that I've been doing this, I have never made an account in somebody else's name. You know why? Because it happened to me just recently, and I knew I wouldn't like it. So why would I do that to somebody else? But you sound German much when you talk about weakening your bloodline. I would like for you to answer what you meant about that. Because you even said, I know I'm going to piss some people off, but I believe in natural selection. We have to stop weakening our bloodline. What bloodline are you discussing? And would Lad Bible like to know that that's your thought process? Can I ask?
They would. I think they need to be aware of her thought process because she's sounding like she's the minority and that's that. If you know where I'm going, trying to keep it TikTok, because she's over here now saying that she's not racist. She's Mexican and Asian. How could she be racist?
Well, what does natural selection mean?
Yeah, my point. It's what those crazy church people believe by natural selection, meaning that they are the only minority without being evil on TikTok, if you get what I'm saying.
Right. Anybody can be racist just because it's how you're raised. It is the thought processes that you choose to attach yourself to. It doesn't matter what you were born. I actually saw a young man. He was black from Uganda. He was adopted out of an orphanage in Uganda and by white parents. And do you know he's racist against black people?
Doesn't surprise me. Surprise me. Here, I will say this and you agree with me. Racism starts in the home.
Correct.
It starts in the home. And if you don't correct it in the home, then they go out in the world and preach what they are taught in the home. Point blank, period.
So, Raquel, answer for yourself. Since you're streaming me so you can hear me, I'll wait for a minute. Even though I am an hour and 10 minutes over my live, please enlighten us. And also explain to your people why you have no intention on working and paying taxes. So does that mean that they're going to have to keep taking care of you into perpetuity? Like there's never going to be an end to them taking care of you? Or are you waiting for some man to show up and take care of you? Or one of them to just say, don't worry about it, I'll cover all your bills? I'm just waiting.
Not streaming you anymore, but everybody in her chat when you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt you. Everybody in her chat is saying that you are stalking her and you're causing her mental health to get worse.
Yeah, I don't care.
I know you don't. I know you don't. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I didn't want to interrupt you on saying anything about Sheena. I just thought it was funny because, like I said, I've known you for a while. I've followed you. I've seen you in scammers boxes. You do not go on hiders. You go straight on your main or your backup.
That's right.
Point blank, period.
Until I get blocked. But I'm certainly not going to create an account about a scammer. For what? Because that would weaken my stance.
I just
Exactly.
went on and on about how we have a responsibility to be better people. So why would I create an account? Again though, what about her identity would be worth me taking? And
Nothing.
again, I'm not in Chicago. I don't have anybody in Chicago. I'm not looking at her in Chicago. I'm just watching her on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. The same way they're watching her. But they didn't mind when she said she believed in natural selection. Y'all didn't hear
Uh,
her say that? Because I did. Y'all don't care
well,
that
I
she
will tell
doesn't
you.
intend to get a job?
She's
Huh?
piqued my interest, and she came across my Pillow Princess feed, and I was like, I've seen this person before. And then I heard them talking about you, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I even said it myself. I said, DD does not create fake accounts. And then
No,
she's
I
like, oh,
don't.
you're one of her supporters, and blocked me.
Of course. Of
Of
course you
course.
do.
But I
But
do
baby
have a
girl.
screenshot coming
Go ahead,
for
I'm
you
sorry.
of that fake account that she's talking about so you can see it for yourself. Just to give you the information.
Okay. Thank you
And
so
I'm gonna
much.
drop. Thank
Okay,
you for the
honey.
gift. And thank you for bringing aware on Sheena finally. She needs that awareness. She's been sliding under the table, and I really appreciate it because Sheena needs to be taken down completely.
Agreed
100%.
100%.
She makes
One,
too much money on this app just to say that she is a creator, and how she goes about it. Look, I've known Sheena since Facebook days. That's all I have to tell you. I
wow. Right.
is.
Right. And she's
Yeah.
like, this is so much worse than what was she selling again? Whatever that was.
Paparazzi. When she
Paparazzi.
was selling paparazzi jewelry, people weren't getting their jewelry, but they were spending over hundreds of dollars of paparazzi
And
off of
then they
her.
weren't getting it. And then she had a nerve not to pay the taxes. I wonder if she's paying taxes on the TikTok money. Because
Oh
the
no, she's
people.
not paying taxes at all. Because guess what? Guess what Sheena got in the mail today while
Whoa.
talking to her sister Fifi? She no longer receives assistance. Oh, Sheena, have you not noticed the guidelines? You have no dependents under the age of 14, which means you have to go and get a job to keep your food stamps and your dental and your health insurance, Sheena. And TikTok does not count anymore. Get up, get off your ass, and get a job.
Correct. But she tried to say that it was TikTok that did it, that somebody from TikTok called. Do you think that the federal government isn't watching every single one of us? They're using AI to do things that would take them months to do. They now just have to push a button and they know everything about everything about everything. What's wrong with these people? What you used to be able to get away with, you can't anymore because everything is done electronically. You think TikTok isn't reporting to the federal government how much money everybody's getting? Like, be for real. When they send you a 1099, they've already sent it to the federal government. What do you,
That
like,
part.
you, just because it came to you, and you think, well, the federal, they send it to both places because that way, that's how the federal government knows if you're lying or not. Nobody had to call on you, Sheena. The big, beautiful bill changed the rules. And you've
Yep.
gotten so
I
much
brought it.
money that you wouldn't qualify anymore.
Yep, when I brought it up to her sister Fifi in the live, guess what happened? I got blocked and got told I didn't know what I was talking about. Well, let
Uh-huh.
me tell you a little secret, Fifi and Sheena. I am a recipient of assistance myself. I have to report every bit of my income to the T, regardless if it was a gift, regardless if it was given through a Cash App. I have to. That is the
Correct.
law.
Well, anyway, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. They don't have to like it.
And Raquel, I'll still be watching. And when you say the most ridiculous things, I'll be reporting on it. Stalk, you know. Watch your lives like everybody else does? Absolutely. And I'm still going to wait for a definition of what natural selection means. And maybe I'll go over there since I'm clearly unblocked long enough to watch me. Maybe I'll go over there and get in her box. But I'll be blocked as soon as I walk in the door. I know that to be true because nobody actually wants to get into a debate with me. But we'll see. Before I take my nap, I'll go see if I can go over there. If not, I'm going to take my nap. I know that there are supposed to be some lives tonight. I will try to make it, but I'm going to get some rest this weekend because this week has been bananas. I love you all. Please.
Thank you again, Big D.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Pillow. I appreciate you coming up.
no problem, hon. No problem. I'm gonna drop so you can close out. And again, thank you for the gifts, but I don't require gifts. I just am here to be informative about people like Dee Dee.
I appreciate it. You're always welcome. So, wait, I put it away and I don't know the ending song. I can't remember. Please hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. I'm not sure when I'm going to do another lighthouse, but people ask me to post it on YouTube. So I have to create a YouTube page so that I can upload the live. I hope it was helpful to everybody that was there. This live will be uploaded to the Digital Deceiver Shadow, all one word, YouTube channel. If you missed any or all of it, I've been doing the chapters now, so that way if there's a particular scammer I'm covering that you want to see, or I'm doing DDS Thoughts, you'll be able to open it up and go right to the section that you want to either hear again, you missed, whatever the case may be. It will all be there. Hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. And please, please do a moment of self-care. And you want to know what that moment could be? That moment could be not scrolling on TikTok for one day. Put TikTok and your phone, frankly, down for a day and get back in touch with the real world. Touch real newspaper or touch a real book. Go to the library if you have to. Go to a bookstore that has a coffee shop in it where they let you browse. Go touch some real grass. If you're down here by me, go to the beach and look at some fresh water. Get back in touch with what really matters. Because at the end of the day, technology could fall completely apart. And what we will have left is what is real, that we can see and touch and feel and smell and experience. So make those things what's important and not technology. Because everybody knows that I care about mental health. If I don't care about nothing else, I care about mental health. But I'm not going to allow you to use mental health as an excuse for treating people poorly. I too have a mental health illness. I have a diagnosis. I take medication. I have a therapist and a psychiatrist. And I do not mistreat people. That is not a requirement of having mental health. So with that, I'm going to leave you with this song. And this is a shout out to all of them because they all lie. Echo. Play Liar by Jelly Roll.
Here's Liar by Jelly Roll on M.
I'll see you all Sunday night and Monday morning.